Hello guy, assalamu alaikum. Ana waa Facebook, waa AgiesCorner, ñëpp waa social media. maa leen a nuyu ku nekk sa tur ak sa santa di leen wax ne it's Thursday again. Jarul ma wax leen sax luy happen fii on Thursdays. Guys, welcome back to AgiesCorner. Welcome back to the hot seat. Tey bu leen ma sonal nag suma yaram neexut. Man ko tey bu leen ma sonal nag bu leen ma waxloo tey please dama leen ñaan ngir yàlla please noo sonalit mi ñaan naa leen yi ngeen fu ma toog nii ñetti péngu laa toog nii toog jël nii toog baala leen ma rek so na ngeen def everyone. I hope ne ñëpp a ngi ok. tey amuñ fi kenn ku dul ENC général bi si boppam ñu ne kilifa gi mooy général yi ñëpp moom mu ne Gambian musician si yëpp moom mooy seen général moom moo make décision boobu ne te loolu moo am by force waaw. so nu comme nu ma ko waxee rek hot seat bi la ñu xotal ko ñu tàngal ko ma ne ko hot seat bi la ñu tàngal ko. Tenda how are you? Tenda yow moom Laila Tenda, today is the first time I saw you nga ma seetaan Facebook. You always on Instagram di ma seetaan waaye Facebook tey mooy suma first time bi. So Tenda kon yow moom faani ENC ga. Guys, num tudda suma t-shirt bi nag bu ees la waaye medium la. I should have got small but amuñ small buñ ma ko defaral. Lamin moo ma jox t-shirt bi as a gift comme nu ma ko de waxee. I give gifts to you guys and people give me gifts. So people love me as much as I love you guys, and I love you guys as much as people love me. So this one is so special, this t-shirt. Man, I believe in giving, sharing whatever I have. I don't have much, but I believe in sharing because when you share, people give you like no. So that's man lolus my philosophy. I have that mentality. So my one t-shirt is a gift from Lamin Mama Jobuya Masalon. Never halamat na because medium na small was not available, and he thought that I should get one before leaving BJ, and I've got AgiesCorner behind here. It's a special gift though. Oh, just an AgiesCorner be right here, number 10. Hi, man si diga bilay pili end of. I don't know how to do this though, but basically, buguma juk suma wag bilay bañ mu feñ why did not feñ. So AgiesCorner bagi ni AgiesCorner bi gis ngeen ko special bi bugga dee a special gift for me. Gars yi daal tey de gis ne ñu ne aji moom daf dee toog si internet bi ndeysaan suñ sista bi def liggéey bu baax ñoom it ñu maa gestu soo ku bugga t-shirt rek t-shirt bu mel nii if you want a t-shirt, if you want a jersey mun nga maa contact den naa la boolee Lamin xool leen lii num naay si rek jàppama ba bugga dee waaye dafa xala rëy na but regardless I decided to wear it on Wednesday. Bu ma wàccee laa fekk mu send ma ko si post bi jékki-jékki rek inbox ma laaj ma suma adresse ma jox ko mu ne ma he's got a special gift for me. So just pour ma wax leen ko rek it's vice versa. So I look after you lot, and you know what, man xaritu góor ñi la. The men look after me. So I've got a gift from this guy called Lamin. He lives in London. My muñ imagine nga wàcce dugga si rek fekk post bi ñun la tegal package. Isn't that cute? Hi Musa, how are you? Hot seat bi guys num tudda maa ngi xaar ENC mu dugga si ñu isi ENC teg ko si toogu bu tànga bi comme nu ma leen ko dee waxee rek toogu bu tànga bi amul kenn kuy escape. Mboolem Gambian artist bu fi nekka dinañ la contact. It's up to you tamit pour nga ñëw wala nga ñàkkaa ñëw waaye soo ñëwee tamit toogu bi dina tànga te ENC moom ndeysaan suma waay la du tey comme lu ma leen dee wax rek dafa am Gambian artist yoo xam ne ñooñu noonu maa ñoom seen diggante du tey hold on leen may comme nu ma leen ko dee waxee dafa am ñoo xam ne si aar bi man maa ñoom way back la. ENC is one of them. So ENC moom jarul sax ñu wax lu bari moom waaye aji la since 2012 2011 moom tamit dafa bokk si artist yi nga xam ne xamoon naa leen. So ENC mom do got AgiesCorner. I salute you, sir, Mr. General. It's been ages.
Salute to Buntan.
It's been ages. It's been the longest.
I swear it's been a long
I know. It's like seeing ENC, like, I don't know.
Yang fresh de.
Is it? I'm a fair bad. I've been like in the hospital today all day. And no matter what, 3 injections la technique. You know what? I was gonna message you, Nella. Small hair something stupid. I'm on the medication.
What an excuse.
You know, I was gonna say that to you, but I was spoken to my agent and lady mom. Don't know you mother you would more head off.
What an excuse.
Yeah, but the thing is, I didn't want to cancel because it's one of the things you have to come in Facebook Live. It's a hobby, so I feel like doing it. Didn't motivate to get up from the sick bed, if you know what I mean. So, which is of course a good thing to do. So ENC. Manila, Sister Turak sa Santa, mawala na welcome to AgiesCorner. Bi mo sa first time, matuwaga ko yow, waxtaan ak yow on Facebook Live, bo comme ni ma ko waxee, yéen artistes yi nga xam ne way back la, man maa yéen am nañ that rapport, that relationship maa yow du tey. Ma wax la, ma bàyyi la nga nuyu waa AgiesCorner, since this is your first time, nga nuyu, then you take it from there.
I'm gonna do that one precisely. It's a pleasure to be here, man. You do your thing, man. You've been a way back person for someone like me and my generation. So I mean, by default, that would give me a sense of comfort to be on your platform by even trying to ask many questions. You know, so yeah. So I'm pleased to be here.
Thank you very much, ENC. Mota, basically, people do ask me sometimes, how do you get these artists to come to your platform? I'm like, most of them, I don't have to work hard because it only takes me to say, hey, ENC, and then it's hi, Adi, what do you want? And then we take it from there because the relationship has been there for ages ago. ENC, come hot seat and I will say before we go, thank you very much because when I contacted you, you just responded and then having to have you here. And I always say dama day jox artist bo xamne defal na ma lolu nonu jox ma cieur bobu dama la day jox. I don't know, I do appreciate it because of that suma liggéey tamit mu easy because sa fancy sa followers ñoo de like indil ma ENC in ENC. It takes them to even go to my inbox. Aji dama la laaj ki be sona indi wuloko. So which man tamit daf de wacce NC suma ko. ENC, just to start, dama feel na comme ñun Gambia ni dañ dee follow many artists waaye xamuñ a little bit of your background. So ñun dañ dee dégg ENC. So dama bëggoon nga wax ñu what is the meaning of ENC and what is your real name?
I mean, ENC is just an abbreviation of Esa and Koli. You know, it's just Esa. And the N is just like and, like when you say R&B.
Okay.
You know? So when I was, you know, our generation of when you want to be an artist, the first tasks become, how am I going to call myself? Like your name, like my generation, people go collect some crazy names, you know what I'm saying? Because inspired by people like the Bounty Killer, Sizzla Kolengi, King Shango, King of Fire. You know what I'm saying? Like those names are like when you hear them, it sparks some attention. So that's why some generation you hear boy you but send nicknames be like Bounty, you know, a Buju, a Kolonji, like still up as we speak. You're gonna hear a lot of nicknames of those. Understand? Because that was the generation we come from. But then me coming in, I almost used Esa, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, it's gonna be hard to be recognized with that. Tima, I'm alive, baby. I me put it down. Yes, I'll see you soon. Bye bye. This little kid don't wanna leave me alone. But then yeah. So my name comes in. I just wanted to keep like something that has to do with my real name. So I said, okay, let me use ENC and see how that goes. Yeah.
Okay, I never knew like the N in the middle. Dama foog ne like initial la boo xam ne maybe like a name from your dad or your mom or in the middle. But knowing that it just means Ensa and Koli.
And Koli.
That's weird. How did you manage to put the and? Because
my name and my surname.
my name, meaning my name and my surname, innit? Well, ENC, to be honest, like I just feel like ENC is so unique. I don't know what hamga lulu. Like it's literally so unique and easy. But like if you say ENC, everyone knows ENC. Like because that define you as a person that is so unique. But I think you're one of the artists who have your name as an artist comes with only letters.
Right.
Yeah, which is
yeah. I think there were a few. MLC was there.
MLC.
Me and MLC from the
Yeah,
same
yeah, yeah,
generation.
yeah, MLC.
Yeah.
But you know
Yeah.
MLC,
But
but I mean we're used to the ML, you know what
right,
I mean?
ML.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
but
true. I
yung
get that. That's true.
san turmom ENC. Tanga dof. Nyeba de am the ENC, the general.
General, I forgot.
ENC lolo am da sala
Yeah.
toro. So then bukan na ham yo ENC like ensa yo fan nga judo, fan nga jange. Kom fo joge dal si Serekunda from nursery to high school.
So I'm very mixed actually, but Brikama is what we represent. You get me? Like
Is
born and
it?
brought up in Brikama.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Born and brought up in Brikama. Growing up when music started, Buma start music, I moved now from Brikama already. So that's why I'm that artist that can represent many places at the same time. Like for example, I've lived in Brusubi for a long time compared to almost what I lived in Brikama. Understand? Serekunda during school days, like you know, understand? And then I've done a lot of growing up in Bufood, you know, I'm running family stuff, and then so then I've done Yom Kololi, I've done places, you know, a lot of people can relate to me. So if you go to places like Bufood right now and tell them ENC, they say ENC from Bufood because I've done stuff there, I've lived there. You go to Bruce Villa, I can be one Alcalo because you know we've been there, but at some point, but before Kurang, the area in areas of Bruce, so there's a long time. You get me? So I mean, Brikama is where I was born and brought up, and then that made me the person I am. And then my music and my other journey started. Serekunda, Brusubi, Bufood, and other places. You know, I did Kabafita Primary School, Alpha Khan, and then Gambia High School, YMCA computing. You know, yeah. So I've been a book guy in school, the high school, my get book.
Nice. You know what? This is what I said. Like I'm a fan of the hot seat because it gives me the chance to maham a lot about the Gambian artists. Even though I've known ENC, like you know what I mean, but never knew that like why Brikama. This is a surprise. This is a surprise. And you know, like Dama said, like we've got many Gambian artists in Hamne. They are from Birkama and they're so supportive of Gam music. And each time Madam Suma Analytics say, Suma page, I see that people from Birkama watch me more than any other place in Gambia, which is amazing. And I will say thank you very much to Bricks for supporting, which means that they're literally doing a lot of supporting everywhere. ENC lolo am na solo torop. ENC dañ bëggoon a xam yow what inspired you to be an artist, like what ko xool ko gis naka la ñëwee sa life ba nga toog ne okay I want to be an artist, I want to sing.
I mean, music came funnily to a person like me because my family is not a musical family. My family is more of the religious, you know, Islamic. Many people know my dad, Nyomnyo, found Islamic Council. He has been the Secretary General of that association, that council, you know, from day one. So basically, I'm not gonna lie, that's my family line. So I'm the old one. I call myself the black sheep because from a fully like nobody ever ventured or nobody ever went through that. Understand that? But then again, media has been in the family as well. I can say because my dad used to have radio shows on Radio Gambia, even though preaching la more fuck you know. But then again, I believe everybody has a call. Everybody has a way they express themselves. Some would express themselves by writing, some will do by speech, some will do by singing, performing, some would do by painting, some would be a graphic designer, some would go and do what Aji is doing. You know what I mean? It becomes your sanctuary of communication. You get me? So I am that kind of person. I think openly, you know what I mean? And then wherever I feel this is the best way I can pass my message across. I mean, that's what for me. I didn't ask for it, it came. You know what I mean? It's like if you have to go through deep knowledges of life, nobody asked God to create you. You saw yourself here through your paternal or maternal side life, right? But then they give you a name, so name for the car. Then I grow to a point. and I never seek or sought to be an artist. I mean, it came. I don't know how, but it came. What I can say, when I've been around people that were musical oriented. At some point, I shared house with one of our big brothers. Our dad used to raise him in the house, so he's like our elder brother. That guy was he fixed literally everything. He can fix a computer, fix a radio, fix a tape, fix a sound system. He's very multi-talented, and those things in life are things that inspire me. It doesn't just have to be music, but creative people inspires me. People that have deep knowledge in life inspires me a lot. So I spent a lot of time around that guy, seeing him fixing amplifiers. Them that I'm on his little sound system in the house. So that again, the side, I can spend a whole day there. He be playing music. He had a lot of records on CD, at cassettes, at LPs. So those days, if you buy a cassette, after every rhythm, I'm reading instrumental, but the last track. So when I listen to CDs, Muhammad, there's an instrumental here. I enjoy that. Like I'm like, this artist was singing this song on this beat. Now this beat is playing, his voice is not there. I try to sing that. I try to feel that gap. That's how I find myself. Now I can actually put vocal on a beat. Understand? But I'm a realistic person to myself. To me, that was just not enough. Anybody can just mumble on a beat. I'm like, you need to be a writer. One of the reasons why I went so serious in school and I work on my language, I work on my communication skills a lot, because I feel like you really have to know what you're saying and what you're doing to be able to write something. So I'm a writer. I can write. I've been writing for a lot of big artists when I was young. You know what I mean? These are things I don't even discuss, and I'm never gonna mention artist names. But I used to, when I was an upcoming artist, I was a writer for big established artists before. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, let me see where this heads me to. So creativity been there. You get I headphone with Yahoo Sanga, I'm not going to connect. Hanga, CD Walkman, we are hunger find a way how to connect. Like that has been this kid. And I used to love painting. So this lab put together, and that made me. So, but as I said, I never musmako ya kamti. The man I'm gonna take my time until some wash grade 12. Well, I was gonna be doing music since primary school in the early 90s.
Wow.
That was around 94, 95, 96. Well, I still knew how to write one or two things of my ideas. But I've been doing paintings in school and all of that, and I love performing. So I think that's how music came into my life.
Yeah, I'm not sort of like, who would have thought that ENC, like your dad is someone that is in the mosque 24 hours by lead, like be part of the Islamic Council, like one of the founders there. Like Mota, you know what I said a few days ago? I was telling someone, I said, my brother said, if you're getting married this time, and I said, Gambian artist, I'm never, I think I'm never there. Young Lixin, you for young Chronicle, you never me. Yes, I be up. I yes, you people, you have bismillah, Ramadan say, Jarusa, anything. Lolo, I'm not sort of, yes, like having to come from a very religious family, especially your dad, who's the head of the family, move be that religious person. Did you find it difficult to have to come out to your family to say, I want to be a musician? And when you did, what was the outcome? Bugay Hamene, your musician.
Yeah, so I couldn't actually find a way to do it because I knew the answer was going to be no. But actually, on the other side, dad passed away early. So be raised by
Sorry
mom
to hear that.
and being around here. So I mean, family went in smaller sects, like you know. So then I just like for example, someone just approaches you and asks you of something which obviously they're gonna say no. That was my state of being at the time. So I was like, okay, one thing I know, my family knows how serious I am when it comes to anything I do. So at some point, there's this level of trust and knowing, okay, when he gets into something he's serious about, he's gonna do it. So I knew that was there. That was something. That was the energy around me in the years 2003, 4. You know what I mean? This was when I was actually ready, because then I've had over 200 songs written. I've had over hundreds of instrumentals part on CDs and cassettes already in the years 2003, 4. And I'm like, cool. I'm 2005, I'm gonna graduate and I'm gonna be done with my some courses and all of that. I'm gonna give it a shot to my first record. I was like, my target is I'm gonna give myself 2 years. If this don't impact my life, if I don't see a source of growth, if I don't see a level of growth, and then a source of income as well, even though income was not the primary goal, because you have to actually establish yourself first, right? But I mean, I know along the way it's gonna come up, right? But then I was like, I'm gonna give myself 2 years to do this. If not, I have better things to do as well, and I have a little knowledge of different things that I can do. You know what I mean? And along the way, when it comes to the parent side, I'm like, I'm not gonna go and say, Mom, I wanna be a musician. I just wanna wait for a moment when they're gonna start seeing me on TVs and newspapers, and then they can sum it up and say, all right, he messed up, but he's good at this.
Yeah.
Or you know what I'm saying? We can actually embrace because he is good at this. Because I knew the songs was gonna be good. I knew that for a fact. Funny how one of the first songs I did was on a popular Jamaican rhythm. It was there with JRQ and all of that. So when DJs play those songs, they play my song along. So at that time you wouldn't even tell it was a Gambian. Understand? So my people be hearing the song, they didn't know.
I think that the same thing happened to Fuller Gangster, as he said.
Funny, like they didn't know it was me. So I remember these days. Like a man, start now, baby, get a bit, fireman, my again, you I show.
Bless.
My sister, more I was doing because one day I'm like, where man, there was a talent show, somewhere when I got like new demo, so she's an indoors person. But we went, and I performed. We're like, yeah, nice. So I was like getting my little hype on, like, okay, that's a level of courage right there. And then one time my big sister was here for a holiday. We were together. And that song came. She was like, hey, so why you don't know? I was like
bragging.
Are you cool? I haven't done one actually again. So I mean, that was what I was looking for, to families' validation about if this is good or not for them to allow me to do it or not. But if it's good, then we can negotiate that. So before they could ever stop me, it was late already, and I got the start like my tail at them actually. I started my first single was the song that blew me. That time to have a phone call from DJ Fireman say, hello, yo, that was like, you are a god, bro. You know what I mean? Like, yo, people like G-File, them people. That was a reggae song. So if Fireman plays your reggae song on West Coast 95.3, hey mama, you made it. And that song was on Fireman's shows. I remember Fireman was actually on the Champion Sound that time before he established Firehouse School. So he used to be at the recording studio Westfield opposite Walmart. It's called Jetstar. Some little history right there, right? So I remember Tobaski Modern up for a show. We invited me. My madam, I'm a champ. So we went through. I got into Jetstar, and Fire was like, it's still CD right here in the tape. I was like, oi, this feels good. Like having that from Fireman, yo. And that actual Tobaski, he started taking me for a tour. He was the first guy that took me out of my comfort zone to take me to places I would never actually go to by myself. He was the first guy that took me to Brufut, Nyom Tujereng, Nyom Tangi, Nyom the east side of Combo, Nyom Pirang, Nyom Kuloro. I would have never gone there. I was like, we were very sheltered, like a foster family. We're not those that, you get me? We only would sneak out to go to a show and come back. But to move out of the Brikama Serekuna range was not something that we do. So Fireman took me there. And you could see that has a lot to do with my track records. I'm one of those artists that toured this entire country. Then artists more gonna tour the Kabibari, like I'll be on tour 11 months a year, every year. Ramadan regular them tour in this country. So I mean, I think that Fireman energy had a lot to do with that. I was out of my comfort zone to go meet the fans. So within this time, you already have my songs on West Coast. People are requesting, play me this song, and so the family could never say they're late now, and that was the goal. Yeah.
Lolu mom, I'm not a lot of kudos and shout out to Fireman. He is a keen follower of AgiesCorner. Every time he is here in my comment section. Why niku gata ko bari pro te manda magata ka. No, si tu made luwa ka nagu.
Real nice guy.
Well, yes, anyways, you're just gonna I'm gonna I'm only little, so you know. Yes, Lolo, I'm not solid like you as an artist, we know the ENC, so like the ENC is a reggae artist in it, dancehall reggae artist. So basically, people do say it when you sing dancehall, it does not connect with home, and many people don't connect. But when people say that, they don't. It makes no sense when you call ENC's name because kula hamdane you're a reggae dancehall artist or hamne like so I would say you're the one of the populars, the most popular reggae dancehall artists in the country. Why did you decide to go on that lane of music instead of come back to our culture with the sabar and all of that? And was it not because that it was risk for people to connect with your music?
I mean, that's a very good question. I came from a generation where, I mean, Gambians criticize a lot of things, but I'm a guy that listens to critics in a good way. If someone tells me something that, let's say in the public front, people might feel like, no, that's bad. I try to understand where this person is headed to, not just deliver a message, right? I might check the delivery sometime later and just go into it, right? But I try to understand where they're headed to. Basically, then they expected everyone to be doing the chorus, the jelibas, the mandinka, the all of and all of that. You get me? And then it was tough for a Gambian artist to actually relate to that easily because GP best being a judo, they being a start music. Anytime bo tune a radio, then the only thing, the first thing they come use la Jamaicans got the hip hop got and all of that. We thought they were Gambians, like as a kid. The projection of what we have was not what people were requesting from us. Understand? Right now, let's say Halibu Hamna come Musibiri, I am like 9 months old. Kokununu, gisang the sunlight. Koku gisang good anything outside. Kokulum is inside. It's there squeezed like something. You know what I mean? Knowing I'm not alive. Kokununu so gonna if one day in life you're gonna go out to a place, you're gonna see cars running, you're gonna see oceans, you're gonna see story buildings, you're gonna actually be on a flight for 9 hours to another country. You couldn't even understand what you're saying. Understand? But Coco Sunyo Judube start to see things that they are not more creative, how to actually blend in what's going on there. So basically, your generation was kind of that. So Maki, then they you don't understand because of that. But Nyum Tam they understand what you learned from is not what they're asking for. So that time was a very big challenge for our generation. Understand? Most of them, as I mentioned earlier with the nicknames, the Lodan Dega, Gambian Sislakorangi, Gambian Buju, Gambian something. Even if you're trying to do they have to align you with somebody who's from the outside. Understand? Because it was not about what we own here. Sense of ownership, amuton fi. So we could actually emulate from where we learn from. At using media, look at it one, because that should be the reflection of Nyun. If we were born seeing only Nyum Kankurang, ak Kumpos, ak Mama Paras, ak Musuba Julu, ak Sabario, that was going to be the sound everybody's going to be on. Understand? But these were things we only hear, see, Gente, I stuff traditionally, locally, and all of that. And then you could even see how that you can actually put in a music. So it takes a time of growth. Now, coming to your questions of the recent times, persons like me try to guard this. How can we actually now start to bring this in to our modern way of contemporary music? So by hell, Mambuma start music. Some generation, I was one of the first to actually start to bring local signatures in our music. I sang Nyamba Kawas. People thought I was stupid. Understand? Like, wow, you all know that I'm Nyamba Kawas. After that, I sang Wonjo and Ginger. Right? And I did a lot of this music like about 15 years ago and all of that. So you could understand when I say this, you can pay reference to my track record, right? Sometimes you don't dare go that way. It's either you are a rapper that will rap in Olaf, but you still have to show people your slangs vocabulary. You have to actually be the American rapper, like before people will rate you. You have to dress like them. So artists were cornered in that cultural something where you either have to choose to be this or that. And when you were too local, I'm not from the tech. Understand? So it was difficult. But man, I've been through that as well, but I've listened to what the society says. I try to reflect. I try to see how to bring that in. So I mean, I think that gave me a unique level of presence in the music, and still most of the songs I'm already been in full English, right? And then I choose one line like choose to be Patwa, one line like choose to be all of Mandinka, one line like choose to bring in phrases you have all of Momutko, Mandinka Momutko, Njago Momutko, but we all say them in our daily life. Mota nyom nyambaka was came because Ken Momuturi nyam. So I've been doing this thinking since then. I've been creating this music. Understand? So them as biti guneka fi ngana wonjola boko. It doesn't matter ban het ngana kadilaka wahal but koko hamna lui wonjo, hamna lui ginger. So I started putting in these phrases you know, everybody uses them. And I try to bring them, I try to put them on image, visualize them so people can actually understand where we're headed to. And they will still keep that dancehall culture in it. So I'm very grounded on those and cultured and understood them at an early age. So I was like, let me build the energy around this. And then many people, you know, I mean, understood that. That. You know, I mean, many artists started, you know, it don't have to be in a ENC. I don't call it copy or something, but I think it's a wake-up call for a lot of artists in our generation to actually transcend or actually find a way how they can also be comfortable to, you know, be hamga. I remember when Barigunka did Dahaba Puritu, you know what I mean? ST did Suma Haftan, Papalenki did Dapata. You know what I mean? Like this generation, like is tough for Gambia because people can't easily find history. It's not documented that way. Hamga. And our entertainment journalists very well know where people can actually find a way of getting these catalogs and understand where we borrowed certain things from the Penchabis, the Masladis, the rebellions to the Americas, to the Jamaicas, to everything. It's not you barely. Someone should take that as a job sometimes, and it will help people like you to actually bring the story outside. So basically, yeah, I mean, I think that would answer.
Yes, for Dogumala Sade, but I was on a road trip with Big C and what's it called, a DJ Kano. And this is exactly what the two of them said to me. We want you to go back and do like a catalog and then get them back to all of these artists and do it's like get to know them such thoroughly. And if it's gonna be like a even and DJ Kanu was like, he was telling me his generation coming down what DJ Fireman to play a song, Montami generation of to play a song. And they were like, I was basically having a conversation with them, and because I like to ask questions and ask this artist, Kanu Nema, what you need to do is sit down, get them talk and study. I'm like a book or catalog and know every artist. Definitely like a profile. That would be very interesting. And you, to be honest, you're the third person that said this to me, and I would definitely like to do that because I'm gonna busy time. Man can a job Facebook Live, you know, and my private life time is just a lot of things. But I would definitely try. But what most of the people that watch or follow Gam music now, which is the younger generation. I always call them the 2000 kids because they get them because chow mun na am tuti rek ñu attack ANC artiste débal wala mënu dara wala fi because most of them tey lañ la dégga wala débal lañ la dégga so mota ma dee wax ne we need to get to know our artists and yàlla def na su ma fi ooyee artistes yéen seen boppa da ngeen dee faram fàcce some will be like I've never said this anywhere but I said it today for the first time and I'm glad that this is why I get to ask you a lot of questions where you get to teach like educate the people that needs to know what they need to know and I'm glad that many of them are following here so they will get to know ENC and to be honest even the ones that don't know you they will call me and say, "Hi, artist, bigger indicator. How much? Why them now YouTube? Them now fee site now ko follow now ko ham now get to know them." Thank you very much, Lolo ENC. ENC, then we're gonna have come yo as a reggae artist. Nakanga def banga hande you you connected with the fans like a way bo hamne nga portray some music banga hamne duga na si fancy Gambia di banga hamne sonne ENC. They don't care. Like it's reggae, but it's dancehall, but they're there to support it. How did you manage to put that in the hands of Gambians? Because lima de wa moy you look at people that loves reggae and wanna sing reggae artist them or buga neka wala dancehall, but they'll be like, you get one reggae artist dancehall it amuñ future in the Gambian music because people don't relate. Yow tey nga nekk an icon boo xam ne Gambian musicien la mag nga si aar bi, xëy na tey am na ku laa déglu boo koo xam ne yoon boobu la bugg a toppa waaye mu déggee ko si yow mu mun a xam ne nii laa mun a def ba indi fans si tamit wala Gambian si mun ma support. If you can tell us a little bit of how you connected with the fans.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it's simple, it's complex. Your artist being first thing you need to know is you need to identify your strength. Yeah, everybody, any individual, every individual alive, I'm the local yalamai, that's your strength. And then when you know your strength, you know your weakness as well. And then your daily progress should be working on your weakness. Understand that for improvement, because your strength is there, divine, Lord is there. Nobody can take that from you as a person. No matter what happens, your strength is always going to be your strength. Now you see how to actually work on your weaknesses. Now, someone as someone that I want to do music, I have to actually ask myself, am I a good writer? Am I a good vocalist? Am I a good storyteller? Am I a good party kind? You have to identify your strength. Man, when I was coming up, because writing was easy for me. It was too easy. I can write and I can communicate. That was easy for me to do. I'm like, I wanna be a creative writer that can take simple things and make a song out of them. And then the challenge is always gonna be, we have to understand when they said this world is a small village, the advantage and disadvantages. Advantage number one would be we all can connect. You're UK, Gambia, people are watching us all over the world.
Yeah.
Some people would only have this dream for them to be alive today. Let's say, imagine Bob Marley was alive today. Facebook Live, he might be a different person, right? That's something you have to actually look at. Like man talk and seen man kui deglu vibes kate. Mama deglu mo. That means I have to work. That means man I'm not gonna force the music on people. You don't actually impose music on people. That's the last thing you want to do as an artist. You create and allow people to choose where they place the music. Make sure you do right music. That's it. If you want to do club music, make sure if they hear the song, DJs want to play, bang. And so DJ play, it don't stop for the crowd can connect. So you know it's working right. If you want to be a storyteller, if you want to be more of like a preaching kind of person, like, Rebellion was doing that, like, you know what I mean? We must rebel up until then they declare rebellion. And I do this personally a lot. How did this guy write music? This guy is so intellectual in his lyrics. When most of us would be strong-headed kids in school, we don't even like books. This guy was writing profound music. Another thing of Mawaheni, and people that are watching right here, I want to give you guys an assignment. Sometimes, as you said, go back and listen to some artists before. You listen to Rebellion, and his music is so profound, like what he puts in there. And I've been a big fan of that. So I listen to people like Rebellion. I would listen to these days. Young Vibes Cartel was not even there. Cartel made his name in 2003, and then people started knowing him later. This generation, that time, it was more of the Robado and the reggae. You know what I mean? Like we all were listening to. It was the Buju Bantans, and there was no Goli Gaza and all of that. Rebellion was doing it for us. And then listening to Fugitives, the kind of music they do, like the Food for Life album, the that was you see that bounce, that vibe was me. Like I like something that someone can just like driving you in that vibe, like you like your Fugitive was doing that.
Chilling.
Fugitive was doing that. Just trying to reference to whatever is happening right now, being done before. It's just the level of volume being added to it, the level of investment being added to it, and the level of opportunities being added to it. Understand? So me coming up, I've studied all these things, and I'm like, where do I place myself now in front of these giants? go hamnane. Yo, you listen to some artists, the way we sound on a record and the way we would sound on an interview is quite different. Because your deep knowledge of communication, your deep knowledge of understanding of what you're doing, lolo more than you see interviewed. Your lyrical ability, your vocals, and all the more than you see studio. So it's totally different. So me coming up, again in music, I waited until 2005 to put out my first official single because I was trying to be ready. The first thing I did was reggae was the thing. Everyone was doing reggae and rap. I'm like, I'm gonna do dancehall. So how do I do this? It have to come through a reggae catalog from a reggae column. You know what I mean? My first song was reggae, and then I started diving into some dancehall bits. Nobody was specialized in dancehall here. So that was a big avenue for me to come and mark my name on the Rockstone. And I'm like, how do I do this? I used a lot of appearance strategy because then so OT show is different from Komlegi, you know when to perform a rated. Then they OT talent show, then you get group backstage, that forces a CDB. You fight your way to perform. Like it was mad, bro. Hamza, how do you stand out of those hundreds of musicians? How are you gonna be seen? I'm like, okay, cool. Started going deep into fashion. I've always loved fashion. I've always loved, feeling myself. Like I don't need to go out for people to feel me. I stay indoors and be putting on my biggest drips and watch TV and go to bed. I just want to feel myself with that. You know what I'm saying? That's my level of confidence right there. So since then I applied that into music. I'm like, if I have to stand here with 3 good artists, I want before even I sing, I want them to recognize me for something before hearing me. Started mota ñom ñamba ko nga daga plans like style and fashion, style and pattern, style and swagger, like you know what I mean. I started bringing those physically before actually putting them on the record. So I'm gonna dress up like a rapper with this thing and Durax with bands on, Timberlands and Ray, like you see a nigga like me flying like yo. And when I go on stage, you hear a reggae beat. That was like a mental drill for the audience. You know what I mean? So this was risky. Don't try this at home, but I did it and it worked for me. It was risky.
But an artist, this is what I always say, an artist have to look like an artist. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I did those because then if you have to appear in Durax and all of that, you're gonna be categorized as rapper only straight up. Reggae, then you have to put on the turbans, the red, yellow, green. You gotta be smoking. I don't smoke. I don't do all of that. Like I never done those. So I applied when I got the lyrics. I applied fashion and movements into my music. And then when I go on stage, I'm a performer. So I actually started performing before I had records. Because I was like, I wanna know my energy level, my vocal energy, my vocal strength. I want to know how I sound on the microphone and all of that. And then also because I'm a DJ, I was used to microphone already before actually being an artist. You get me? So Lulu I had a lot of advantages, and my strength was too much for me to pick from. So I was like to actually have where to pick, to choose where to pick where and put them together and actually make me out of those. So actually I was able to stand out because of then I think there was need for dancehall music. And then being a dancehall music, you have to be a lyricist. You have to I put a lot of lyrics in one song. That was one of my strengths as well. You know what I mean? I don't have the best vocals. I'm not very vocal when it comes to, you know what I mean, the melodies and all of that. I'm a performer, I'm a hardcore artist. You know what I mean? The melodies and all of those things came along the way later because you have to study what you're doing, you know what I mean, and all of that. And then my strength was my lyrical build up, and then the topics I would choose. Who would sing a song called Netetu?
Only ENC.
Exactly.
Only ENC.
Exactly. You get, so these things will bring you to listen to my music, and when you start listening, you find more. So they are like the bait. They bring you in. They lure you in to know more what's behind. So I mean, I've been doing that a lot of for quite a long time now.
Yes, Lolo, I'm the solo basically, you as an artist, we've seen it like only in the Gambia you will see that an artist would have like a complex purwahne sokolaje like for example ENC wrote your songs for like you the lyrics ENC Mokobinda or somebody else writing. I think is the pride in us. We just too prideful and the ego to accept or we find offense in saying that somebody else wrote your song for you. Like I said, people watching you tell because you know one to be an artist. War nga muna neka ko xamne tamit war nga muna binda especially lyrics and yalla def na artists you fi de ñew you commence like daf de wax ne I wrote my songs, but some of them would be like, some of my songs were written for me. So people ñoo xamne they were not because yalla daf la dem may wursak si lu nekk mun ngaa ñaaka dem school mun a binda mun ngaa ñaaka dem school mun a wëy so like yow loo am pour mboolem koo xam ne tey yaa ngi bugg a nekk artist but having to write you have an issue because danga dyslexic because that's what Gambians will call stupid but here we don't call it stupid, it's an insult, danga dyslexic. So basically what would you say to somebody who is dyslexic? Because having to hear a big artist, we want the hey man can be the most song we you know. Someone might be like, nah, I'll be in my own corner. The want to neka artist come kamunu ma bida can waruta bidal artist. Yo lo am was regarding no.
I mean, industry have changed. The world changed. Most of these big songs you hear from your superstars, they don't even have just one writer. You have up to 4 or 5 co-writers, man. Sometimes you be in the studio with a bunch of writers. Some people writing music is not even about the lyrics; it's about the composition of the instruments, and they write the melodies. Because melodies are written actually. The lyrics they have to put it together for you. They know these are people, or you have experts. You have they know this kind of lyrics I wrote. The first suit artist Nangam Sangam. You get me? Or I mean, you have a team. Gambia is new to a lot of things, and then sometimes we are not aware of a lot of things. We use ego and complex. If I have a songwriter and I feel like this person is dope, I want to work with that person. All you need to do is to prove it to me you're good. Let me see a good song. That's it. Some people don't need writers. That's fine. But I've seen giant artists like from day one, like you
Beyonce,
have that's
Michael
fine.
Jackson,
You upper writers. They are
David
writers and they have ghost
Rose.
writers. You get and they artists. People get paid for writing music for people. So you just make sure you are a good writer and that's it. I've seen one of my favorite artists, Conscience. That was a time a few years ago. Munglawan, he was on. Sometimes you go on a lot of tours. You have a lot of shows to do, a lot of interviews, a lot of things to actually pay attention to. You don't even have time to write music. You have the idea. And he was looking for if you know you're a good writer, link up. So I'm not just talk much. I have some melodies in my head, and then I have my producer send me a beat, and I know Agies a good writer. I can send you an idea. Yo, I want to do a song about this. I rate it. I said, yo, Agies shot look good. It's a Gambian flag. You rate it. And you find a way how to get a song out of that for me. You get the song done. I'm gonna go on voice and I steal my song, and you get credited for being a writer. And that's a good thing, man. It's a good job.
Yeah, ENC, come to Mokodewa here, and you Gambians, let me say 99.9% of us, we're full of pride and ego. I always tell people, I say, like, Mother saw the Gambia, every time people are fighting, if we're always fighting, every time, even on the streets, because it's the pride and ego that we just don't want to swallow and let go and work with the right people that we should work with. ENC, Lolo, I'm the solotora. ENC, then we're going to have you as a Gambian, born and raised. How did you manage to speak Patois?
It came in from the music I listened to, the reggae music, and then reggae music. There was a time speaking patois was a flex, Some reggae in school and people go, "Why say like patois? I'll tell so you make a little business out of that. So it was like a flex. It was like something interesting. How do you even do this? Especially generation women social media. Artists don't actually go on social media where they can just pass their information on. So from records, we get to learn to understand. I think patois is very related to Creole. It's very related to our related to a lot of English broken words. So sometimes it's easier to understand when they say something. The only problem we have is the accent, because Munga Dega Laka, but you cannot actually do the accent exactly. You know what I mean? Even if you do up close, someone will understand, okay, you are an African that speaks patois.
Even in the UK, it's your identity.
Exactly.
When you even speak English, regardless that
Yes.
the accent, some part of it comes out to tell you that you're from here.
Out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what happens. Well, I get to a point. There was a time I speak patois more than any language alive. Like I used to do madam them school. Teacher like the correction. Small like that's like yo. I'm like sometimes I go back home and look at myself, dude, I'm stupid. What was this? It was well, that was mad, you know. But then after when I got on radio in 2009, I started to clean down the patois a lot, because getting to understand the official language is English, and then patois was taking a toll on my English. It was like everything I was saying, I have to have a patois accent into it. I don't even plan to do it. It comes up all the time because it was so embedded in me. I couldn't help it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I need to work on this. I've been in grade 12. I was writing my essay in English, and I see myself writing, you know what I mean? that bad, you know, like that bad. That was not good. You know what I mean? But I'm a guy that I can work on myself a lot if I want to do something. I'm like, no. This one's going too far, way overboard. So I was like, well, radio helps me to start to clean my, you know what I mean, my patois off a bit. And even in the music, use that my patois, but like I used to do. Then we used the street patois, but that was too deep, you know. Like I don't use those anymore. I still do the basic, the accent and all of that, but I only speak deep patois when I'm talking with someone who speaks that, who understands it. You know what I mean? And to a point where you don't even really have to.
Man, trust me, when people speak, I speak Creole. I'm very good at speaking Creole. But when people speaks patois, I'm like, bro, I'm lost, because I don't know if it's too fast, but I don't get most of the thing, or I don't know all but the affairs, but I get confused. To be honest, I just cannot relate to the language. ENC Lolu no basically I'm not son of. This is why my day one is important to have you guys here and you get to know our artists. ENC yangi was isa biru I'm solo lo hamne wangade an artist munaneka a good artist to sing a song, but not a good artist to sit on an interview and have to be interviewed. Excuse me. This is where excuse me, my followers would ask me sometimes isil key, but I've already contacted that person and the person say Aji balal ma neku de buguma ñu sa sobi de munuma interview. I'm not the best artist to be interviewed, or I'm not the best person to sit down and to be asked questions. Mamuna watan. And sometimes I just don't want to come to my followers and say, oh, I've contacted this person, but this was the response, because they wouldn't get it. Understand? Because we have our comfort zones. And I will tell you, an artist said to me, like, I'm happier to sing even on your interview, to sit on your platform and sing, than to have to sit down and chit chat. So I understand that they said, like, I'm not comfortable having a chit chat, but if you bring me to your platform to sing, I can sing for you all night. So what do you have to say regarding that? Because my followers will be thinking, Aji bukuta in the ENC. If I can contact the ENC, why ENC explain on my situation, man, I'm very understanding. I understand that the ENC can't do it, but I don't have to just come and tell them, oh, this person will do it. Because 2 weeks ago, I saw 2 people arguing on the comment section. So one of them said, bring this artist, and the other person said, that artist wouldn't come to this platform. And the person said, why? And the other person said, because of so. But I'm thinking there, couldn't I opinion? I'm not you there in the rumors and all of that. But if you ask me, I've already spoken to the artist, but they said, Aji, I'm really sorry. Bring me on another thing on your platform, but it can't be an interview because I can't do it. But I just ignored the 2 of them chatting on the post. So Langa, I'm regarding that as an artist.
I think it's normal. Some people are camera shy in real life. Some people don't feel comfortable when their imagination is kicked. Because let's say right now, when I'm looking at the screen, I see only me and Aji, and I don't need to remember anything I say here. because I know even if you wake me up from my sleep, I can say the same thing. Probably that's my personality and that's how I am naturally. But it's different for a lot of people. A lot of people have to go and actually study themselves to understand themselves again before they can face the public, and it's normal. That's why sometimes you have people that have to go through public speaking academies because they are shy. You know, what I mean, they have a lot to say, but until or unless they find a certain level of comfort within a certain people, and they become loud and free. So it is normal. Sometimes just even those, yeah, they will tell you even themselves they don't like it that way. They wish they can actually be free and express
Communicate,
themselves.
yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, like we're living in a modern world. You can join academies for public speech, public speaking. You can do some researches because you never know. Sometimes munga neka a youth leader, munga am sa foundation, munga you can attend conferences and seminars where you have to chair actually a speech. You have to deliver a speech. You have to do something different from you just performing. And those things are important. I'm not for the an artist. Some people want to talk to you, not they don't even want to hear your song again. You are loved and respected by body. You cannot they don't need you to prove anything to them. They only want to talk to you. Then they egg at that level. Like they don't even care about song again right now. Right or wrong is okay for them. They love you, fine. Sometimes they just want to have a conversation with you. Sometimes they just want to know how you think. They just want to know how you treat certain issues. They want to know, let's say, right now, how do we sort out?
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to ask this question. I'm not on media anymore doing my interviews. I want to give this example. But it's a real question I was gonna ask nobles, right? One day if you have them, ask them this, or if you're gonna have them again. I'm
I
like,
already had them, but I
oh
will do it. I will
snap.
do have them, don't worry.
Anytime you have a group of artists, ask them this. People never ask artists these questions, right? Like artists do live together as a group, they do things. Boy, lamin at boy sa I'm misunderstanding sometimes.
Well, they explain that it will wow
How do
you.
you
How
how
they
do you do it? How do
trust
you
me, it
how
will
do you
wow
face your
you. It
war
will wow
room?
you. How nobles like you now every time sin jote ki so your jote like on their hot seat. To be honest, they shared
Man,
how ñoom naka lañ grow up together, the conflicts they have, kan more they short tempered, kan more they dem fii kan like I was like wow.
yeah,
And the hard
yeah,
work they do ak lan la
yeah,
guy they def ba
yeah,
loolu moo leen they motivate together them peinture them
yeah,
gasi to the
yeah,
soccer way
yeah,
like they shared a lot
yeah.
and that is why
That's
I
gonna
said
motivate
hot
a lot
seat
of
be
people.
they important to you get to know you lot because ENC the reason why tamit ma like the question if you ask me man having to know you if you ask me I will tell you ENC is a very shy guy. He does not talk much. Even the way you talk is calm. Like you're not the kind of person Mohammed param you're everywhere. Understand what I mean?
Obviously, yeah.
So yeah, obviously. So because obviously I know you. So more than man like having to have you nga war a sit down to talk again comme moo tax nit yi di leen dellati because comme li nga doon wax ne loolu xorom la si nga nekk artiste boo xam ne yaa ngi génn si sa fancy nga jox leen that moment of 1 hour 30 minutes or 2 hours because this is what they want to see ENC bu toog benn place mu wax regardless of what you're
Yeah.
saying ñuy comment rek si comment section bi xam ne seen comme li nga doon wax fireman gis nga bi play sa song bi how you feel this is how it makes them
Yeah.
feel suma artist
Yeah.
suma artist bi so which is
Yeah.
loo xam ne dafa am important torop and yow ENC dañ bëggoon a xam lan moo tax ENC nekk a calm a shy cool if you ask me ENC is a very cool artist. What?
I think that my upbringing have a lot to. I'm from a family, we okay, we are very loud and noisy when we are within ourselves. Like, yeah, think that is nice and everybody's just nice back. But I mean, I might be one of the quietest. Many times I'm more creative and I'm quiet. You know what I mean? I learn from every little thing I see. Sometimes I'll be quiet. I'm not talk at people, right? Especially let's say my normal content. Like hours, I'm not even gonna utter a word. But I'm listening to everybody. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to relate things to things. I'm actually having a staff meeting in my head, like you know, that kind of thing. Sometimes Munna you right now. Let's say you're linking salt again. I like this Gambian shirt. This jersey is so beautiful, but it's over nice, but you know what I'm saying. I mean,
Thank you.
I can be looking at this, on my mind is how to the next graphic design I'm creating from this. So I'm over here still looking, but I'm seeing the colors. I'm looking at the color harmony. I'm looking at the background color. I'm looking at the details of these colors. I'm saying, okay, my next graphic design is this. So it's the quiet me that is understanding you like that. But I can engage you in some mad conversations that you can never have with a single person alive because my questions are stupid, crazy, bro. What I would ask, they are not normal. Like they might be normal, but not the questions you get every day. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy conversations, but mainly with younger people. Let's say kids.
Oh, is it?
If I have to say a hobby, it's what I like. I love that shit. Like too much. Sorry for using that. But I enjoy that. Yeah, like that's something I learned. Then in my house, kids were coming like daily base, every day. No matter like they have to wake. I have to get used to waking up on their schedule to come bomb into my house. They have routine. I tell them, send parents are all richer than me. They buy send carry. You know, so care. You stop my talent YouTube by force. Get Satan. That's our but I enjoy them. I enjoy the way they ask questions, the way they think. It reminds me of things, and I like these kids at this age understand this. Me at soon 40, I should be understanding the world better. And I think this is a task the world, everybody should actually take as an assignment. Why you think this? Everybody is fighting. Is Ukraine fella? Is the fella? Is because I mean people don't place themselves where they're supposed to be. Greed and people are not contented. People are not loyal. People, I mean, you see kids being loyal to you. You have like little kids being fair, being open, being cool, being caring, like kids be seeing and they're like, you get to ask yourself, what is he or she thinking, understanding that you might need water to drink. And then that for me, how I translate that is, then Magutolni man, soon 40, should understand the world needs peace, bro. I don't need to be bitter on people. I don't need to come and trying to shade people. I'm not gonna be here and then disregard people. I'm not gonna be here like not showing love and appreciation. So like the quiet me be thinking like this. You know what I mean? So I relate to realities. I relate to things that people might ignore, but I see big essence in them. You know what I mean? And I think me as a person, it contributed to where I am. And then how people will say I'm calm. I'm wild though. Like imagine I'm a whole DJ, you know, and we play in the roughest clubs. Like imagine Gambia's #1 rough club, bad club, everything. Wow, nightclub. I had my own nights. Let me come mark my for the vicinity and play. You get me? So you can see the different clothes I'm cut from, the different pieces I'm cut from. I'm from a violent environment, you know. I'm from Brikama, a rough street. I'm a Anybody can tell you living around Kololi Tavan is rough, bro. I've done those places. Like I've walked, I've lived life with people.
So guys, again, ma remind leen ENC Gambia la nekk, so dinañ am a little bit of network issues here and there. Mun doon wax regarding suma t-shirt bi, maa ngi gis ne tamit ñu bari ñu ngi wax suma mbiri jaasi bi. Jaasi bi is a gift from a Gambian guy who follows and a keen follower of AgiesCorner, koo xam ne ndeysaan góor la, comme ni ma ko dee góor yi ñooy suma xarit. Ndeysaan mu send ma jaasi bi si week bi, I think on Wednesday, ma ñëw rek fekk ko si post box bi, daf ma inbox laaj ma suma adresse bi, ma yónnee ko suma adresse bi, mu jox ma jaasi bi. Comme li ma doon wax rek, si gannaaw AgiesCorner moo fa nekka, mu nekk gift bu rafet ndeysaan. moo wax Lamin jërëjëf, daf dee jaay t-shirt yi tamit, ku bugg a t-shirt rek mun nga ma inbox. Gis naa ñu bari fii di wax ne t-shirt bi excuse me, ñu bàyyi ENC mu senati request mu dugg si show bi. ENC su fekkee ne yaa ngi foofu mun nga sena request, mun ma laa gis pour indi la. Comme ni ma ko doon waxee rek, jaasi bi nag medium na te small la de sol wala extra small, so dafa xala rëy nag tuuti waaye nag rafet na. ku bëgg a jaasi bi rek contact ma AgiesCorner bu rafet moo nekk si gannaaw number 10 la te ay numéro 10 man si digga bi lay play mit fii la da ngeen dof, ma ne ko da ngeen dof, si digga bi lay play. Aji nga yab ma rek. Ah, si kanam. Nice call, goalie.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
Gambia.
gonna
Gambia,
look,
it's okay.
look
We're
at my
used to it.
broken record. So this phone had to temperature whatever high because
Udahala. Oh, I even thought it's the network in the Gambia.
temperature. I mean, because the live has been going on with the same phone and it's
Yeah, okay. Then do you want me to ask the next question?
yeah, you're good. Let me connect these ports on this phone as well.
Okay.
But I'm hearing you. Can
Okay.
go on.
ENC, having to talk about you coming from Birkama just a minute ago. Uh, I've got a question here that says, I didn't even know this about you. This is why I love the hot seat. It says next, Sapapa is from is a Jola, and then your Sayai is a Sarahule, and basically your Ngajugi from Birkama, which is dominated by Mandinkas, and you
Yeah.
are loved by Fullers, Wolofs, and Serials, etc. What is your opinion about gum music being tribally supported? Like few artists complain it is tribal, the tribalism is brought into gum music. So having to be around all these tribes and being from parents that are from a different tribe, langa ampur wax regarding that gisee nga nonu gum music be. If yes, what is your opinion, Silolo?
I mean, um, that have to do with if the music is really tribal. I mean, that's a very sensitive topic. It's a very sensitive topic because if that's like a whole forum someone have to actually discuss about. But how I would answer it more I've never been tribe conscious. I I was we were my family is never raised. You know what I'm saying? My dad brought up people in the household. We don't even know which tribe they are because to us, tribe don't matter. What matters is I'm a human. You know what I mean? First, and then you, because if you actually have to be cornered thinking it's something have to do with tribe, trust me, you're gonna be limited to something, and then you're gonna create more enemies for yourself. Then you're gonna burn a lot of bridges. God is a very dynamic country. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna actually keep it on the positive side as far as this interview is concerned. Um, who are the biggest artists in this country? You cannot count one or two. It's more than two or three or four. A lot of artists are big here, and then Gambians, the audience don't even care. The audience don't care. Lala audience be care when you a Gambian first. They like that. They want to take ownership of Lumon. Right? Now it's up to the artists to tell them I'm Gambian, but if that I'm this tribe too, then we have a conversation. Understand? On the other way around, tribe is something someone have to love and acknowledge and preserve because it's understand it don't on a positive light. It's only gonna be difficult or bitter to others if you try to show them the man lila the margin lila. They have a problem as well. Because before you disrespect anybody, disrespect their tribe first. Disrespect a person with everything, but disrespect their tribe, there's war, hell broke loose, man. And if there's any artist in this country or anywhere or any audience that thinks the tribe is necessary or it has to be a selling point, I mean we need to go from those. Because we have over 10 tribes in this country, Understand? We have to understand one thing. They're difficult to communicate with Gambians. This don't have to do with only music.
True.
You have to listen to this part keenly. One country which is one of the most difficult countries to communicate or to pass a message, Gambia, Bokanasi. Reason why is I'm with any lack of boy, lack of fee that someone don't. I'm not coming to and then you it's like a responsibility for you furungas laka benen laka pour ko understand. Understand? Like when I say this, I learned this when I started doing talks from let's say from 2009 10 upwards. The play the community is fuller, it's predominantly fuller. They are coming out to support you. Tell your Muslim mention banal phrase of Paul in your music.
In your songs.
You should go and you just to try.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond. It's up to you, as I mentioned earlier, to show you that you're not fall trap at that point in time. For instance, if I happen to be in that position or in that situation, madam take a woman come, maluma way, they love me and they love my music. I will find a way to integrate and appreciate their culture and their norms and values, and not to beat down anybody. It's like to show that we are all Gambians. Understand? There was a time Basse was like I used to have the biggest shows in Basse, even more than Bidikam. Mara play Basse. I'm back before 2 months' time. I'm booked again, back. In a year, we playing 2, 3, 4 shows in the same place. Numbers keep going all the time. Booking, paying. Remember Basse, my first show in Basse. It was not a promoter, Mama invite. A whole senior school. I'm sent in the house, and the whole school have to choose me to come and perform Bakawas for them. I don't know if people understand the sense of responsibility in that, sense of respect in that. And then you have to actually come and show love to these people. So imagine, just imagine, more than Basse, predominantly fuller. Like, is tribe supposed to be important there? Looking at the essence of why you. So tribe is something that if we have to talk about it, we have to actually bring the positive side of it and saying, owning up to our heritage, our cultures and norms. But Bunko is music. Is gonna make it unhealthy. Appreciate and accept someone who is singing in his or her local dialect. Today, it's important to you now. Don't want to dig word for word. Look what you want to go and choose someone who like us. Don't force that person to sing your laka, because still again, laka is not supposed to be the problem. Gambia fee. We all grew up in every household listening to Indian music. We mumble along. We never asked them we all showed them love. But why would one Gambian artists happen to sing in this land? We start questioning them. Like Yango corner, you cornering the person. So the audience have a responsibility, and the artists also have a responsibility. It's normal. Like the audience is 100 people, you are your band, you cannot please 100 people. 100 people have to understand. Key, I'm not Kerbum Jogi, I'm not from Jogi, Lila Dega. And he's trying to accept him or her for that. Until he or she disrespect or disregards or degrades or whatever, your tribe, defend your tribe to the core, because that's what you represent. That's you. You get man born and brought up in Brikama. That's how I'm telling you, I'm not even tribe conscious. In that household, we all speak Olaf as a Mandinka. We learned a little Olaf because of neighbors. I remember Sunken opposite. I love the new for the con. You Guinea Zimba, so you get to be used to the Olaf and all of that. We had Kusanton Seka and all of that. Like her mom don't even understand. So we've never been even. It has never been a point. So we find a way how we all can communicate. Gambia Hala Jangi. Gambia Hai Neh Nahari. You will speak all of So sometimes we get cornered and get bullied for not speaking good all of, but that's fine. We've never been tribe conscious. But I mean, it's good you mentioned this, and I think at some point you can add more space to having conversations about this, because
surrounding this.
Where people should actually have a real conversation about this, because they divide a lot. The sentiments, they just look when it comes to, but if we have to actually go through this, I'm not way big music. Yeah.
Yes, lolo am no solo toro comme li ma de wax mo nek ne people like you mak kasi aar bi and dama dee wax ne artiste tamit daf dee contribute a lot si yaaxa society wala defar society. Having to have to sit you here tonight, guy communicate, many people watching you and people coming to watch you later dégga li nga wax tey koo xam ne sax noonu la mel wala loolu nekk si xolam war naa mun a dégga lii mu wécceeku comme li nga doo wax rek positive message te loolu leen de expect from artists like you te mu am solo torop. am bi ma posté sa fly bi am na ko fa binda ne ma aji di nga jànga a lot from the general te binda na ko fi sa bu yàggu ne waxoon naa la ne di nga jànga which tells me ne you're a mature artist, if you know what I mean, and mature someone having to sit here ma ask la question nga faram fàcce ko ba nga xam ne aji bu fi toog sax tey dina ci jànge wala kii ñëw seetaan bu doon jikkoom la sax dina soppeeku te dafa nekk loo xam ne tey ñu bari ñu ngi ko dunda ñu ngi complain ne music scene bi Gambia music scene bi noonu la fa demee te yow
aji wami ikate
yeah it's alright
imantela pare makatela representation tay abla fa good night nda pare ta jangana ngata ngafu ti my good night ta yela isi kodi imanta sino sai lafta mai ilafta mai buru dei ti ma kwa lafta buru tay amma buru gila
excuse me
have a good night see you kod amma sana kodi imanta bani beje be de lete diam na kodi right ite diam okay see ya di be diam kana diam fonin pare diam sorry about that
ENC loolu am na solo torop comme li ma doon wax ñu del si waat si question si ENC yow yaa ngi nekk Gambian artist boo xam ne dinañ wax ne consistency yow you are one of these artists boo xam ne you are consistent si Gam music industry bi doo mun a oo musician boo xam ne mu ngi consistent si music industry without mentioning your name dañ bëggoon a xam ENC yow recently we haven't seen you see many big events gis nañ la si uche bi and you performed so what is it why is it yow recently we don't see you performing or releasing songs or doing anything loo xam ne si music scene bi loo xam ne is new or you having to be on stage as often as you used to?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I mean, since Boma Guinea needed to, I took actually a break from releasing music. My aim is I can put it out anytime I want. But ENC is not only a musician. I've never been only an artist. Music has been my highlight. Actually, music has been my selling point in life. Music has been the anchor for any business I venture into. Understand? But many different things apart from just music. And then I've given music over 15 years of my time pushing it, and then I have a lot of things that when mindset when it comes to opportunities that I don't really push really hard as I pushed music. Understand? Always target when I reach a certain level in life. When I reach that, this is what I want to do. I've always have that in mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say like because I've always been that I'm. So I have a graphic design company, Worldwide Media. I've always been a graphic designer, and then it has been doing amazing. I've been doing most of the big events I've been doing. They are flying.
Is it?
Best of the best. I run the branding for them. Few popular shows.
I think many people does not know this. I'm glad you mentioned this.
Attack Bomb. I branded the whole show. Many events here, in and out. Even the Big C event, the Manchester event that he did last year.
Oh yeah.
And this I did the graphics for him. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a graphic designer, and I needed to push that company. My place called Bena Palace, where I wanted it, which is actually gradually. I'm not gonna say gradually. Alhamdulillah, where it is right now. Otherwise, right? So I actually have to do a lot of energy on that as well with this time. So music can actually, putting out music can give me a little break, a lot of songs outside. There's no Gambian musician that have more records than me when it comes to music. I'm 28 tracks. You can't whole songs. So if you miss me like a lot of songs you can listen to, and I'm not off the media. I'm here. I do, you know, one or two things here. Until when I find it's now to put out my album, I'll do the album outside. The band like my album. How much time to be appearing on shows that I need to appear on? How much time to talk? Which I'm busy doing the corporate works here. I manage brand companies. I work with football a lot. As you can see, one of the fastest rising football teams. I could say the best BST Galaxies team owned by Steve Trawale. I'm their brand manager. I design all their media content.
Nice.
And a lot of things happening out here. I'm not on some shows like a Mari designs and flyer yet. You know, and then that's a good job. That's something I like so much. Understand? So I took this to actually push that my position to fund lab and then I can continue giving you guys songs and videos. I have a lot of projects I kept right now, and songs that will. I'm not just a musician. I'm ENC's of different collections. I'm into businesses that deal cars as well. We're doing the limousine services here. Few other things right here. So I mean, you know, it's yeah. We try
To be
to grow.
honest, we don't know our artists, or we don't know what's happening behind closed doors, because comme nu ma la ko waxee music leen dee gis na ENC géej a lifi music pour ñun maybe people rumor would even have ne relax si jeex na dafa bàyyi o mun a tuut o xam nga comme ni ñu ko waxee old generation bi la na génn xale yaa fi nekk moo tax ñoo ko noppiloo. So having to hear that you've got all these projects and all these things going on, like, to be honest, kudos, congrats. I like that.
In life, it's not about saying things, it's about doing things. Me as a person, I used to sit back and say, when I was going to primary school, we feel proud to say, my uncle, mama generally, my auntie, mama generally, like as a kid, you like, you love them, you respect them, you look up to them. And today, you are that auntie, you are that dad, you are that uncle to a lot of kids. Can they count on you? You get what I mean? Because you, the person, sometimes you don't internalize things a lot. You internalize from the outside, right? Like you have to look at yourself and say, "Oh, when one of my uncles was doing that for me, he was just years old, or he was 35 years old. Today you are the same age, and you do what are you doing that? Where are you heading as a person? You know what I'm saying? Times like I've been thinking like this a lot before I even grow up as a man. Think they like your responsibilities of stuff. You know what I mean? We juggle, alhamdulillah. I mean, we juggle, we try things, we fail, we back up, we do this, we do that, we try many things, alhamdulillah. But I mean, your state of mind as a person should help have with your life, you represent. You know what I'm saying? Into many things, and I know.
Léegi boobu nag nan nawek la parce que nawek xamuñ xara wala kasara ñoom di ndee xam moo la soobee di ndee xam kenn la soobee nawek balaa ñu la dee merloo sax ka nekk sa diggi lu important non yéen si su buggee naa ko may kaasi courant guys comme ni ma ko waxee rek ngeen baala ma nag yéen si Gambia la nekk at least dinañ fi guddi am ay difficulties here and there ngeen understand nag nawet la ñoom ñoo xamuñ comme ni ma ko waxee rek su nit nekkee si diggaam rek si la nawet day ñëw di fo nawet fo rek soo ne leen baalal gaay rek ñu may ñu tuuti rek ENC ñëwaat comme ni ma leen ko waxee rek seen artiste yi aji moo leen a laaj questions yoo xam ne kenn du leen ko laaj parce que daf dee jot waxtu boo xam ne wala artiste yi sax dañ dee bëgg a plateforme boo xam ne am na questions yu leen war a laaj kenn laaju leen ko te man nag maa leen dee cuxa indi leen ne leen kaay leen nga ñëw toog ñu waxtaanee ko su ko defee ñu ñëw toog waxtaan because I just believe that we all have the rights for such voices to be heard because sometimes we just put what's it called again artiste yi di leen laaj simple questions like lan moo tax nii non di leen neexal non man ma leen dee neexal de man duma dee babysit artiste dama leen di wax ne kaay leen aji sa jaasi bi naka la sex jaasi bi de AgiesCorner la si gannaaw jaasi bi foog ma wan leen ko ku nekkaa ngeen laajte jaasi bi jaasi bi de yéen si sama ne jaasi bi dafa nice jaasi bi de gift la Then mako may ni isil mako. The person that gave it to me is a kid follower of AgiesCorner. Lamin again jasi bi ñepp ko waxat to tay. Daf ma xala upana guys wax na len ko is a medium size, the small la de sol company bi amuton small, so they had to give me a medium size. But again, I'm still happy with the jasi bi mako sol Sunday san pour ñu ci so bi nit ñaan na mako. Ah, so li ngeen a def rek xolal moo naa dama leen dee may ngeen nit ñi may ma noonu la vice versa ma joxe rek ñu jox ma ENC ya maa dégg fu mu nekk ay no kura nawet la liñ doon wax ENC am na solo torop I can't even remember where we stopped. If you can remind me, please.
It was about growth of a person. I mean,
yeah,
from one to another. So
yeah,
growing from
mm-hmm.
and then the person basically, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
ENC loolu am na solo torop ma delloo la a little bit. This is a long thingy mënuma ko summarize because suma brain is wired differently, so I have to read the whole question. It says at the 2016 open mic we had ENC with the lyrics like I'm a black man, West African, smiling from I'm a black man from West Africa, smiling coast, and a Gambian. Everybody is a champion. We are human beings, not a monkey. One man treats us like a donkey. And it says throwing words to the former president. Now that he is out, what do you feel about the recent government? It's a rumor that that's what you were doing. So you get to understand, yeah? It's a rumor.
That guy really quoted a real song. I did that open mic.
Yeah, you see, like sorry that, but neither be the question. I like them because they go and do research, like man, I understand. So like they have a code CV. Seriously.
I mean, the person actually is a follower. I don't know if I'm not being the boy, is a real follower.
I have a good team. Kudos to me. I have a good team.
The people are lit.
They're lit. Mara smalaje artist rumor says you never bobu rumor sa man dega na ko. Mane ha. Ajila de.
Borom kanya yo.
Lola DJ Kadu dewa. DJ Kadu lola every day car.
I mean, I did that song. I'm not if you've been following ENC as an artist, I'm not an artist that would be doing more of those social or government type of music. Okay. You get me? I did that because there was an urgent need for to some stuff. You know, it was not even like a song recording. It was I took to actually speak to the people. I mean, it's a long story which I might not actually have to go and share about that performance. I mean, I had to be a part of the voice. That way, that needed to be amplified at the time. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be like I chose a route to actually stand on to be doing government or to be, you know what I'm saying? People need to be in check and people need to be checked on. But I mean, it's not my type of music. I mean, then the urgency of the state situation it was needed, so I did that. You know what I'm saying? Since then, it was just that. It was just a performance, and then and nobody see confidence and courage to actually be in Gambia. Because that time it was not normal for us to go on stage or come up president. That was very risky, as we would all say. You know, I mean, even if you were gonna do it, it was more like subliminal shots. But straightforward and doing that, people were communicating crazy. I mean, so you could tell that they needed to hear that. So I took the risk and I took the job onto myself to do it. And I was ready for whatever was going to do because I was I'm gonna do it. Open mic because Biniman played a week before open mic. I performed on Biniman's concert. So I actually did like I saw the crowd response. I'm like for event like open mic. And then I did that performance. And then but from there on the rest is history.
Yeah,
so about the current I'm not gonna go through the politics and all of that.
Yes, you know, I'm not solo tam. So you say you like the questions. We always like these questions when the person is related to that. So having to see you do that back then, we thought, well, you know what? He sang a little bit about the government back then. So what does he think about this one? But like I said on this show, if you don't want to answer something, we just respect it. Or if you don't want to talk about a certain topic, we just respect it and move on to something else. ENC, the next question is yo, we saw you. You are a good friend with ST. Your relationship with ST. Just then, I'm getting a collabo between the two of you. Of recent, just then, one or two artists came out to say how they feel about him. Through people took it as throwing shades. Other people took it as he is one of the biggest Gambian artists or the top man in the game, and all of them are trying to get to him and to bring him down. ñeneen ñu ne soo nekkee mag si biir game bi wala nga nekk place ñu bari dañ dee ut boos pour tuddala pour ñu am boos bi. ñeneen ñi ne ñëpp dañ ko bëgg a xeex pour yaaxa ko because moo amee Gambian music industry bi. ñeneen ñi ne ñooñu seen voice la ñoo wax liñ feel lañ wax. There is nothing wrong about that. Yow having to be someone who is close or not, we will say not very close, but def nga moom collabo, hang out nga moom, def nga things up with him. Yow no, just say the whole situation that's been happening recently, the whole backlash and the whole drama that's been happening regarding ST. Do you think that everybody's got their eyes on him to try to bring him down?
Well, I mean, I'm not too good at or being judgmental about situations. I'm not gonna say a word about. I think nobody just on there was recently one of my interviews that was out and actually saying something about ST, how of friends we are and all of that. I know many. It's like it was done after the ST and Smalls thing. That was done before your interview. You know what I mean?
Glad you clarify that, because that just the matter was so big important, because you're better Amulo want any chance to say that on any platform, but today you are here to make sure, because someone watching that would be like, ENC is a hypocrite. Now look at him saying this after all this backlash. So it's good. Yeah, go ahead.
Before that controversy between Smalls and ST. Now here's the thing. I'm not that artist, that person that want to see people under the bus. Someone says or someone does. To me, I treat everything like opinion. People have said the worst things about me. I'm giving you an example. I'm one of those dissed artists in the dancehall. Man, I'm talk a year, I'm about 9, 10 this over the years. The Maran talk about again songs. You'll be surprised. That's how I treat it. I'm like, that don't even know me. You only see my image on TV or on show. That right? About ST and Smalls. I think ST and Smalls have been really good girls. I'm not just gonna jump in here right now and just try to put shade on someone, right? I say, okay, ST that I never want to put none of them in the situation. The little I've had with both of them, I respect and cherish that. You say, I'm not close friends with Small, but we've been really good, like co-workers, like artists, like respect, like big one. You know, after that, I'm gonna leave it after that, like respect still stays. You know, ST Suma G, like come like I've spent a lot of times with ST, like just musicians. I'm gonna mention it on this interview. So much make it together. Do they even think about music? Because I'm not respect level going up. But I love he shows back that love too without music. So like if I'm making someone I've spent a lot of time with, I'm gonna have a lot of memories on his side. You yet together, we've all had great times as musicians. And I want to be that person that can kick back that kind of love to come back to the industry. It's been there. Someone say ST, come on forward, bro. You get me? And I can tell the reason why ST has been comfortable to do stuff with Smalls because they had that relationship as well. So man no more close like ST. Maybe ST's been close with Smalls as well on the other side, like a triangle. So no matter what I would say, if I don't try to preach love, gigante nyomnya, then no matter how much I know on both sides, then do they relevant on media? No matter how much, understand?
Yeah.
No matter how water I hold, it's not for the media. It's for. So if I'm gonna, so if I can, I'm not chance to actually sit with ST to. Anyway, ST, what was that? Monday more anything ST, right?
Definitely.
But,
Definitely. He's got a
so,
selective mutism. You can never hear him say anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like problem is only problem. Today is a back and forth. Someone is
Yeah.
saying and someone else is saying.
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna treat it as small opinion about ST. Cool. Second example, no talk. And this is from media. No talk. More and his disappointment and his don't feel about God. You know what? And I respect, I listen to what he says. And motive is gonna be bring back to resurrect the law. And I'm gonna advise him from my side as a brother. I repeat, so fake and a man talking, you don't have to do as brothers. What we used to share about the music. All you put together, right? So I might say if that thing is out of context or a misunderstanding, I'm like, oh, this might be misunderstanding, this might be that, but don't integrate it. No love for them. That was going to be my position. So if it was like a thing was small, was ST, was not to get ST. This I'm gonna try to find a way where we all come back together. Just for more.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I wouldn't accept me as a person, in the middle of something, and I see obvious bullying, obvious something that I don't accept, I don't respect that. So I'm not part of this thing. I clear up. That's how I'm gonna. You have your opinion. Fine. I have my reservations. Beautiful thing. The other person is not saying anything. Then show I'm popular card. Understand? But this used to be beautiful. Boy, like Mala, what time you RC boy, you nyep the family come way like the same mom and dad, bro. I remember when you bring down 8 o'clock, 9 boy. The first thing for the definitely is going to studio of shy. Then I go to studio shy boy, nga talk. Nga chapa like nga chapa tis most mungi talk. Bari bunka mungi talk, broke mungi talk, mangi talk, psycho like all the hardest names like you could mention. Then I go studio nga chapa G, nga chapa like you're gonna see us in the studio and the music. Then I for the boy follow so and then embrace ko and like that love man lola miss, you know. Taking into a point where we can celebrate a lot of things now. That done a lot. Music changed a lot of lives in this country as artists, bro. But I'm not time boy one thing,
yeah, definitely.
Time boy, Jeffy boy, it was not like anything about money, huh? I'm on a time boy, Tamburo sauce la. I'm on a class, then you're them studio, huh? So if music, what we represent, them the big change the status for us. It's about time you throw a party, throw all celebrate life. But that's my mind. Come together. We toast to good life. We toast to growth. We toast to what's next. What projects can we create for the next generation? What effort do we do for this country? Then do Mali, do the head need, give the funny monkey. Yo, like the Mare Hatter, I'm like, we don't need that. What signal are sending to people that are following us? We become like a game they're playing. When we having the remote to that this country is going to, but we need to play us as adults, bro, as established. I'm talking about days you have, bro, like that are never supposed to be never come there move still there. But I'm saying I'll go. Legi parents, Bugana gis doma muneka musician. You sometimes be an artist like there. I'm gonna give this example. Nobody don't do this. I don't want to mention others. Like people take things differently, but there, I was the first person to take them to radio to interview them. I exposed a lot of artists on my platform. I don't need to be in my house and say, "Kid, if I'm not going to more deal on you, be like, it's fine." People do things. Sometimes people act. You have to understand. People will act not the way you think they should act.
Yes.
Once you understand this, come Dara meet. You will have.
You take life as it is.
Yeah, I mean, like come but man, like when I see two great people that could do better together for this country. I find the need for, man, can we make it happen? Like, what can I do to make it happen? So problems down, I'm gonna try to solve the problem down. If I cannot solve that, I'll allow it to slide on to the next. I wouldn't change the state of the respect and love I have for you from a distance. So Finland as it's about time to celebrate this music, to celebrate this the music I've done for us, for New York. After time, Gambian musician, Prunga is 300 people to show. And you Orange is 300 people. You started to them Alliance Francaise. There was a show that people were having confrontations. No, Gambian is not special Alliance. Because those numbers weren't even there. We were so it was Nyun, let's say the Nyun, the G's, the Baribunkas, the Estes, the T Smalls, and all. It's Nyun that took it to upon us to change. When we start again, a new alliance, the new Samai, the alliance, the people move, the like a Q City arena. So think of this track record, you know the progress that have been made by young. You know, it's gonna come. It's gonna blow me like when I sit back and say, you create rule on Facebook or social media, throwing shades or disagreeing on unnecessary things. It's about time. We just dama dee nekk si trafic ma gis an artist ma pull up ma park I just go and respect boy I hug you up. Listen, I've seen you and me coming up from way back Bundan Bunga in studio manayo tasena ya do almoto bunas mga do almoto bunas from music or from something it doesn't even have to go to art into material but the stage, that's what I'm trying to explain, has grown into the order and I see that, I respect that, I'm happy for you. If I can contribute to I'm nyari moto, I will do that. You know that this industry and this industry is giving you that, so I'm not going to disregard the blessings of the industry. You create logo. So I think we should put more focus on that. Music or ST and small thing. I'm not from the area where we can put a lot of more positive energy to grow it. We start fighting. To start fighting for it. We start to move and you tell me disagree on something, drop. So it's like it's gonna be a roller coaster of every generation have to go through the generational course to break. Because we already have that power. Let's use that power and export this country. And I think I can on and on, but I have respect for this artist. Small is a legend, bro. There was a time this country, like you have to mention T Smalls as an example, fam. Understand? He created platforms for artists. He created things like, you see him moving with a lot of bunch of artists. Oh, people can love him for that. You cannot take that away. So if I remember those greatness or that greatness, and still, right, I want to see how that greatness can actually be together with ST's greatness to stand for something. I'm not I'm not cool with that, bro. I think we need to bring back the love, man. Love goes a long way.
Yeah. I'm not like I said, I like to have mature artists, mature people, whereby Dingamuna use something to educate or whoever is in that situation or haven't been Dingamuna deglu and you know what, learn from it or pick something from it. ENC I'm the solitary, and I think that like one issue that we have as Gambians, most of us, I would say 100% of us, is communication. Basically, I will have an issue with ENC, or I will see something happening with ENC. Dama catch ko suma cool, ne ko suma site, like schools, like Johla Road, ne, hey, like mold you as this certain person, the Ninga Leg, instead of communicating. And this happened recently. I would just use Jalimadi as an example. This happened recently between me and Jalimadi. I misunderstand something that Jali did, but it is regarding law hamne dama dem si mom like something mom mudeme nenen. So I misunderstand that. But again, I went to bed and asked him, I said, why did Jali do that? But when I woke up in the morning, I'm someone that communicates. I said to the person that asked me to ask Jali, I said, you know what? Man, I'm not the Gambian that hold grudges. I go and ask the person what happened. And when they tell me, then Mamuna communicate, but understand it. Deme would know Madega his side of the story. And I took my phone and I said, this was just last weekend. I took my phone and I said, hey Jali, no, I'm not message. How are you? Fine. I think he was sleeping. He replied late, and he replied me later. I said, well, I wanted to talk to you about the issue that happened last night. And he called me, and I asked what happened. And Jali explained, just come up explaining. He put me back to, oh, it's all right. Yeah. It's not what I thought. So, and he said, Aji, I'm so happy, ne? Call nga mga latte. Muna nila niti de ame problem, ag nila niti de jilantes indosi. So madega ledara, wala nga fagal madara, wala nga jisal madara. You have every right to pick your phone and call me. And I'm telling you, after that, Jali fixed it and said, well, it was a misunderstanding because something will happen overnight. And I was so happy that I communicated. And to be honest, when Broke, if it came to this platform and spoke about the issue between him and ST, I asked, have you communicated with him? Have you guys sat down to have a conversation? And I think that this is where we have an issue, most of us having to sit down and say, hey, ENC definitely, oh, this not ENC Jikobi, or ENC Degal na kodi. Aji Sasoko Degal is something. Kola Aji, Aji, hey, suma sister ga. Ni ak ni la fademe, dah non la fademe, o lila de. I think this is where we get lost in the process. You am grudges, wala doing demalantel, you buy and sorry what. And I think one thing we should know again as Gambians, people grow out of each other. People grow out of each other, because sometimes when I listen to the stories that happens, I'm thinking this person have grown out of this person, and this person is not seeing the grown out of it. So you just want to be stuck in that. I don't just do shows, man. I listen to learn, and I look and I understand. They observe, and I say I'm very observant. And most of the stories I hear is like, oh, this person have grown out of this person, and it's so hard to accept. The accumulates. This is what happened. So I think the lolo tamilu am solo about again having to have you as a Gambian musician. What a question, see that they important. You like get me for ENC models what please.
I will give you one scenario here.
Guys, come on rek suma yaram neexut tey neexut fan yi kañ depuis Friday moo tax fan yéen déggu leen ma woon ba noppi. Even with the VIP ticket, I couldn't come out and say, hey, I'm not giving out the ticket anymore. So, like I said, if you guys don't hear me, I'm in the banks in my corner doing other things, you know what I mean? So, again, Vesby is from Sala, and I think the Gambians, ENC, I'm glad that I have an artist who have the youngest industry. And I think that these questions are really important to be thrown to artists like you. Pour nga muna faram fàcce ñu muna déglu yow fan nga xalaate ak noo gisee.
I mean, I want to give you an example. Normally, I'm not the guy that would bring a lot of things to the media, right?
Sorry guys, come to Malenko here Gambia la neka get understand it. Network we will have it playing around we def jumping lights. I'm gonna them fat did them do you. Yeah, okay.
I mentioned that other video. I'm on a time like me I speak together like almost every day. Honestly, I'm not the outgoing type of person a lot of times, but anybody when I was general, then I get a TV by force and you would bring me up. And I remember at the time, me and ST had a little gap. I mean, this is some funny stories I'm gonna bring on the internet to actually try to prove a point. I'm giving an example, a reference to thing, right? So we had a little gap because of I believe there was some misunderstandings on sites, right? Bro, I reached out, bro. Them take estima your mom I remember, so I step out, we go into we see him as brothers. Bro, come, I'm this kind of person. No matter how much they need, if I'm this level of host, everybody they have. Come, we will joke and say everything to each other. We can talk about anything as guys, right? But couple of little rules, everybody they have
You've
for
got
me.
boundaries.
Understand? So you know when I'm serious, do the serious. So I call everyone gonna buy farm, boy, don't mess up fee. I come fee, and I what I thought ne last fee, and I spared that out, and also gave him time for
To
him to say
process.
feel muntam lalla feel what was understand, and bro, as bro, nobody alive heard about this. From after that conversation, there was no single person alive who might take my ST one because that was not even the reason. The reason is we cool and this little gap like come yo fam like my little feel when man come little feel rated. We cool elbow it up and be out. Move on.
Yeah.
And then what was going to happen, even if he didn't understand or didn't accept or I don't accept or he didn't understand what he was saying, we were going to just give that the respect and move our both ways and allow it because certain have to allow them the way they are.
Definitely.
But is key though. Sometimes you're in your mind, in his mind.
This is
His
what I'm
walls.
saying. Yeah.
Sometimes walls up. But I mean, communication is.
Yeah.
Trust me. To me, I mean, love and we want that love and movement for this industry.
ENC loolu am na solo rek comme ni nga ko waxee di ko bamtuwaat man I always say this, I'm human, I make mistakes, but this is where Gambians would mun naa dégg sax ñu ne ENC moo wax lii wala ENC lii la wax si man instead of mu ñoo laaj la sax dégg na loolu rek mu block la mu unfriend la wala mu commencé di la woyal these songs wala mu def la enemy. You see the problem is tey yow am nga that channel of communication with ENC. It only takes you to pick your call and say, hey, bro, but I'm got that relationship. You know what I mean? Come to ENC, yo, man, yo, 2011, 2012. I'm only human. But I'm part of it. Munga just ajilum desa. Okay, let me use this as an example. Singate Rice. When they went to Norway, they couldn't go to Germany because of this visa issue. But man, as a presenter, as someone who's got a platform owner, need that send video regarding what happened there. Singate small while we are bodies. Rek ma post video.
Oh.
But then Singate saw this video and he got offended. But man, how much help? Man, then must send rek na aji postal mali because I always do that for all the artists, promoters, and everybody sale. ENC, believe me, I shared this. Singate got offended. So the next day, he called me and said, you offended me. And I said, what happened? He said, aji. He said, Balanga don't post, Linga send. Or Balanga don't post, Linga post. Why? I'm not obvious then because said, don't know no contact because I'm in that relationship and you ask me if it's okay because it jeopardized my job and my work. And I was not expecting the digger that move. I was thinking that you would do a smart move of communicating with me because Mawanga. Understand? And I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And I apologized to him. And I said, I made a mistake. What I'm going to do is go back to my platform and take it off. And I came back to the platform and take it off. And I apologized. And he said, I know. And I said, I'm only human. Man, how under the ground, I don't know. I am just sent to say postal, just like you would send me something and say postal. And there is where the person got offended. But what namako, instead of with my enemy, or buy ma. So nit yi loolu leen dee def mun ngaa gis aji post dara sa nga foog ne meaningfully daf ko def fekk aji xamul sax ne am na lu xew dañ ko wax ne postal comme pour man maa ngi support nit ndekete mu ngi offend keneen ku close to me. So I think that this is where we get lost in the process duñ dee xam communicatal aji xamutoon lan la def Wahal Ajine fee the family stay, because I always tell people the last person I want to offer these people that are close to me. And I think this is what is happening in the industry, because a lot of you don't communicate. ENC definitely or ENC killer they handle, feel a far legi, do gonna feel somebody. And you hold on to that grudge in your heart and you never move on. And we need to communicate. ENC Lolo, I'm not solo torop, like I said, your artist Buyaga si Army, you watane leader for am solo. ENC, the next question is ENC versus Maha, ENC versus G, ENC versus Silky Chris, ENC ENC versus Rura, ENC versus Gypsy Joe. It says ENC is a very controversial artist. I never knew this about you. Oh, really? Yeah. So, why do you think ENC is mentioned? Why do you think all these artists mentioned you go heading forward? Why do you think all these artists were coming at you, heading forward towards you?
I mean, but I don't.
But wait, is this true? Or were you mentioned?
I'm trying to figure out. I have never versus between me and any artist, right? I have had these songs.
It might be a rumor. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I've had sentiments from some, which is normal in industry. To me, when it's coming from both ends. When someone said something and another person said, and said stuff. So once it happened, then there has never been a versus. And I don't know where me and Silky Chris never had no altercation. Like we never. I know Silky did a couple of songs which I can't even tell you this.
It says you mentioned all of this lot mentioned you. It's not an issue that you have between them. Okay. They mentioned you in a song.
I still cannot tell you why someone would mention me in a song. I know that Mohammed at this song, and it has never been an issue. Nobody ever had to it. Maha is a dancehall artist. People know what dancehall is. I think that people never saw Maha coming as an artist that would actually make this song to be. Because if you check Maha's track record, our DJ that would play Maha the Hammer 4 or 5 songs of different songs every week.
I love Maha.
So maybe people might have actually even thought he was my artist before he did this song. So I'm just saying, because there's not like we once had an issue or something. You know what I mean? I've never had any musical issue with any musician. No one person. Never happened.
Dominic Some jazz when oversized. The one now they call medium. Should have been small or extra small, but I'm size would out.
Love Mahadi Hamas. That guy is so talented. Yeah, I'll be sitting and feel like he deserves a lot that Gambia should give him, which happens to a lot of artists. Super talented. I'm not gonna sit here. I want to give this song to me, so I come to put him under the bus, and because the first thing I'll let everybody understand, I will never have that back and forth with any musician in Gambia, because what I stand for is totally different from that. It's a point where Manakio, we are very cool, and then me and you agree to actually have some fun in the music. That's fine. But I'm a very respected figure in this music that I don't even need to say that. I've never been into this kind of man. I started my music as a war artist in the streets of the camp. That's where we started. But Muhammad will never pay anybody's bill. This guy in music. Muhammad all this all this man it will never pay. The man I'm focused on what I bill. I'm so focused on that. And if still anybody actually feel the need to do a song to call my name and your artistry, that's fine. I could call just when Maha's song come out, I could go, yo boy, your song bad, I'm that kind of person. I swear. Reason why didn't do that because you know what I mean. Like this song, I went into actually start calling my family relationships like you know people, and I feel like music wouldn't actually make me. I'm not gonna be a reason where someone else next to me gonna be disrespected. I'm create a platform of me where other people are gonna disrespect others next to me or around me. So I'm gonna extra distance myself from it. Understand? That's the only reason I didn't even call my and say, yo, your song bad, you know, do your thing. But otherwise, I call him and say, yo, did this song bad? I was gonna, but I just slow and give time to play it out. And then you have to understand why me I don't involve in this song. It's very, very old-fashioned way of music, and I'm too modern. I'm too intellectual, way ahead of that. I mentioned if it's a point of let's have fun, me and you agree, that's fine. But what I see, the money they nitty this nitty boy did you guys send Jabari send Yai send. I'm like, why need to go into someone's family line?
Toxic.
Like, no, like we are like come on, definitely not songs you have and they're gonna come out this songs. Well, who's not perform taste because of currently under 15, 16 kids new the attention shows league. Somebody understand the way I different like
You
I
select
stand for me.
your language.
If I'm not perform before, languages I used before. Lately, I don't even use those because those songs have outgrown this generation. Our audience is very young. Our audience, when you come around Gambia here, them like you sitting at a concert, and then you see the crowd. If you are a mature, sober person, you're gonna have a sense of belonging, a sense of responsibility for
society a lot.
Exactly. Because of ñoom ne comme seen yaay yi seen oncle yi seen dad yi ñoo nekk my partners in some offices ñoo nekk people I'm working with ñoo nekk people like I'm speaking for this generation I differently matured not to inspire them and the same man maa war a turn this avenue seen yaay yi like understand like man that don't pan out for me that I cannot get head around it because here's the thing man I'm very raw in everything I do if I have to go out. Go in a lyrical war. Trust me, it's not gonna be nice. I don't have this time they say eye for an eye. Like you punch me, I punch your eye. I don't have that formula. You punch my eye, I go for your throat and your belly and your stomach and everything. Your intestines are out. I don't have limitations to that. Why music? Where I stand and where those kind of music goes to, no. But that's a talent. I respect that. Man study music, you can recall. I'm a platform person. I upcoming artists started creating platforms where other artists can benefit. The reason why I beginning interview Malawan and I saw you in a place like Go Food, they would say I'm from Go Food. When I was doing monthly shows to help their primary school kids. I was an upcoming artist. I was having a social responsibility since that time. Events for kids and middle-aged people because the in Gambia, our country is not catering for that demographic. Kids, we have like put on fun. Makireka places, they go to clubs, they go to bars and drink. You cannot take your kid to certain places to see certain things, right? How do you like them? They don't have something that would actually, they can recreate and have fun and stuff. We're not looking into. We actually too much dissolve into our consumed by our some moral kind of thinkings that we don't really understand. I'm not a bad impact. When you break out and you stubborn become criminals because growing up, honestly, I've had that sense of responsibility since then. I'm still giving you reason why I this music and doing bad. I don't really understand. I started this thing since 2000 and end of 2009. I was doing this in communities. And that platform was Nyanjo was just a dancer then. A super show today. So bro, people like Mighty Joe be coming on those platforms before to perform because Gambia I'm not one where people can just go and perform and hunger you can pay a $5 or $10. Reasonable, it wasn't about the money. Growing up from there, man, Alliance Bumo Ibi, our generation, I was the first to bring Alliance, a show in Alliance, bring all my friends, most of the artists today, both perform for free, Nyom STO, Nyom Jibu, like, the mother talk more flies, the mother like, boys were looking so young, we were full of love and life, like, we were about that. I'm not from here, I think, I use this little hype to destroy that. Dama am a mission in the music, and we all have different missions. So I'm not gonna let that distract me. I have a drive that I'm driving towards.
You have a sense of direction.
Yes, and I'm not. Nobody is gonna distract me from that. I will respect your opinions and what you say. That's fine. That's you. But I have a direction, and I'm heading to that. I've built that. As I was doing all these things, I was on the radio as a DJ. Why I take Gambian dancehall music, but I'm gonna say this on this platform as the first. Then I don't even have time to go prove a point to people. This is why they got to know Gambian dancehall musicians on radios and stuff because of ENC and on radio again. I was the only person that had a 100% dancehall show for Gambian reggae dancehall artists. And all the artists you mentioned, I religiously played them. Then so you have to listen to my show to hear them. I play one song, your two, your 5 songs on top of each other every week on Gambia's biggest radio station, West Coast. When not talk man, so my energy and my hype I have. All those days, man, get touch upon my get all over this country. I was coming in. I still chose to go and bring these artists on radios. So I heard you mention Silky here. Ask Silky Chris, who were the first people to put him on a live band show?
He's watching.
Yeah.
He's watching.
There is no single artist that would say ENC that might disrespect feed. Come, I don't you know. When I was doing Park 6 second year anniversary, I just made one in my phone because Silky was the only one that jumped on my back on the live band.
I like Silky.
Bad
I'm a fan.
Bad artist. Listen, when we were going to Venezuela, Mananyo Mandimori, was when I first knew Silky. So Atenola came. I knew Atenola first before Silky. So we went Jakarta doing some live band training. So I was chatting with Atenola. So I'm doing a song like that. So he played that song to me, The Beautiful Star. Boom, I was like, yo, whatever, bad. From there, I know, my next backstage show, man, I'm gonna invite this brother.
Oh, bless.
On that show, Silky was the only artist that performed on the band with me. Which I'm on every other artist on that live band. But live band training, I'm on enough artists to sponsor that. Was invested by small own artists are gaining for them organized. Not even a sponsor. Understand what I mean? I might was here and there, but it was mainly on me. So fail here, understand? So that was showing you like the love I have for everybody. And then even if them na be just na come meet I'm na reservations of heck na halat na likely I just go some bomb and watch and be like, okay, maybe there'll come a day. Then told for you and a conversation and where you will know, oh, you had a misunderstanding of something. And Mantam, I just laid back and keep my elderly spirits and I'm cool. But no problem. The last time I spoke to was we were together like house of minutes like going around a and it was no bad energy, you know. Like, me and Maha same stage, you know. I had it done so Maha was on the stage with me, you know. Maha came to perform and he called me on the stage. It was love and respect. You never even see me post those videos to look for clout and things. I'm different. I'm not made up of this social media generation. You know, 3310 more I'm on mobile 3310. I'm on screensavers. Nikki, the you print from internet cafe, guide them type of send Nikki. How understand? We have songs before CD. So do man you and then try to the down look at me, your next generation. Like I know anybody who does it fine. Like that's not me. If I see if I can add value to what they do, I'm a businessman. I'm a man. Like I think that way, you know. If I can add value to what they do, let's all make money together. But I've had a lot of my time spent to actually create platforms that will support a lot more, not just me. That's how I came in. So basically, yeah. And I heard you mention Lul Ra. Ra, we were very cool until I don't even know what happened. I swear.
Well, while like the ruler, they say.
Like come and nobody would tell me come ENC, Lila Madam, like come today I'm not Tammy. Please y'all have my numbers, but send me a message and we
He's
come
a
go on phone tomorrow.
keen follower of AgiesCorner, and he supports me. Rura is one of these people that supported me from scratch, to be honest.
Yeah, right. You know. Right, since he was in a crew. I mean, bala mo like you know, long time. You know, the African youth or something. They had a crew like that. Ra has his talent and stuff, and I actually really believe him. He have a drive where he wanna get to, and he have. And I really see him on something that he can spend more time on to actually develop himself, and I really believe he's doing that. I see him doing productions and posters and stuff, and
Yeah.
I haven't got the chance to tell him this yet, but I mean that's good. I was together with Ra.
You can say it here.
Then Hussein Dada album launch, album list party. It was together, you know. He was doing producing filming, and nobody would ever tell about energy from good. Like we would say, yo boy, and your like cool, like me some boy. Agi, if I feel something, yo, I wanna do something about. I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna tell you, and I will get it to you, you know, in a respect. But I understand music is music, dancehall. Sometimes that's where some people express their feelings. I never take negative. If I'm disrespected, that's where I went totally quiet. When I have the chance to tell you, and then we, yeah, but it has been love. You mentioned Jibu. Me and G never had problem. No. G G's like one of my favorite rappers. You know? G was one in an album. Modern G boy. G was one artist. Come imaginally, boy, you know, talking nice. You guys are going out for a hangout and can play CDG, see motor. Come on, I'm gonna make an artist. Mangi hot, mangi touch up on mine. But we come, we show love and respect. I don't think Jibu. Jibu is one artist that will speak his mind.
Yeah, of course. We all know.
So come on, the film and la the problem like come. You said
His
what you wanna say.
opinions.
You want to something about your next minute in your network, get answer coffee. Move. That's fine. I've done some G's one artist. G's one artist. I have G on a song like 2 different times. Like Victory album, me and G had a song. One of my favorite songs called is it Get It? Yeah. I called G for that song and Ray, he drove to my studio. Song la ko don feature foofu noonu de but dafa dugg studio mu dégg song bi man no record song boobu noonu I was listening mu ne boy man song bi sala like bi
Oh, bless.
la boobu la feel yeah boobu that time and trust me fast foofu la ji bi les 16 and tap dugal na ko war and it's rap way back sometime I had G and Jelly Mario one song and so I mean like maybe people can, you know, I'm the Gambia people can say, well, Jibu is one out of it. They're going to come friends like or something. But love, spend a lot of time together with Jibu around black things. Because as I'm on the times reading, they spend time together a lot men within the industry. So most new I'm like, no, we don't have that.
That's not Kena. Gypsy Joe. I don't even know this one. I've never heard of him. Who's that? Who is Gypsy Joe?
This is what artists like. That's maybe people see something on the internet. That's
Yeah, and The thing is, when people see you with certain person, or they had you coming out don't play, or don't different mom, any interaction they don't see anymore, then this is where the rumor comes in and the intuition to say that something happened here. Yeah.
So my last moments with Gibson, Lamot Amade mentioned my last moments because that explains Indian stuff, right? The last moment with Gibson was he used to work at GT Bank, not far from my house.
He an artist or was an artist? I don't know this one. I don't know him.
I haven't heard him in a long time.
Okay.
But he's right. He used to work at GT Bank.
Okay.
So he must have learned the man never call what jokers wherever he go inside of it. I'll come back and I'm done. At some point of the man you buy for some transaction and he'll keep the money and come and pick it and come. Yeah, so it's gonna sound like news to me. Those are artists I play on my shows religiously. Like I want to move. Like I don't remember. I'm not just mark any artist. If I have reservations about man that I don't know, that's fine. So I'll keep that opinion until when we have a conversation about it.
ENC, I respect you for that. This is why we bring you guys, because normally hate that again or but people would say, oh, ENC aki or ENC aki or ENC. So we always go and try to get things that people are saying, or see a background or something that we come and ask you a lot to, because from the horse's mouth, having you to sit here and we ask you these questions and you said, hey, neither them or I don't want to talk about it. It is really important. Who would have thought the ENC or some would have been like, after the show, be like, what the hell? How did this come about? Like, even me reading this, I'm like, hey, ENC, general, yeah.
I used to have these songs more, but now I'm these songs and then Magina them show what I say I don't take that personal.
Yeah.
If you go disrespectful. But
ENC dangi wax lu am solo mbiri aar bi mbiri dis bi or being disrespecting an artist thinking it's good for your music yenn saay daf la dee mun a yaaxa as an artist yenn saay daf la dee mun a yóbbu as an artist or mu put la in a roller coaster ride boo xam ne you got stuck somewhere. Well, I've had a lot of people say ne wax ak dis si aar la bokka, and to be honest, some Gam music fans will tell you we don't like to see Gambian musicians fighting. Some will like, we like the energy, we like the toxicness, because people like toxic in it. So basically, you as an artist, we've seen that this upcoming artist boo xam ne sax xam na ne attack moo nekk on top, Hussein Dada, Uche, ST, nga am what's it called again, yeneen artist you ma mënut a mention, let's say Barhama, nga am other artists yoo xam ne ñoo nekk like right now, so or ñu nekk si top bi ñooñu nga o mu foog ne ok su ma demee ma attack Hussein or Jizo, that would make the whole internet crumble down. Some music would have had them somewhere. And we've seen people make other upcoming artists believe that this is how you're gonna do, or what you're gonna do, or this is the right route for get famous. Yo, as an artist who's been in the industry te once nekkoon nga si position boobu noonu, yow sa jamono dina am koo xam ne dafa ne ENC like them all pour get that cheap popularity. And this is where people don't want to do hard work and go in the music in the studio and do their own thing. Instead, they target a particular person to get famous. Yo, langa am pour wax regarding that. Because like I said, someone watching you will be like, I want to be like ENC someday, but dafa bëgg a jël the shortcut, the cheapest route to be like ENC.
I mean, anything cheap doesn't last long. For your talent to be defined by someone's response, that's more like a talent. For me, actually call someone's name, answer back to me to be validated, that means more like a talent. You are talented, you know your strengths. The beginning interview, over. As an artist, know your first press gas on the strength. If you are low expected for that strength, you never. I'm going to give you one example. This Alamoda and Munez sold out his all his events lately. He don't even have it. In the club album, doing one of the biggest tours right now, a couple of months ago. he was about his story and his struggles, and fine. That was what people received from him. That was what for make it entry. 50 Cent said first. I want to give you an example. Like as an artist, different and all part of the art and all of that. Just find a way to do it fine and cool. Don't just hide behind that. If you were creative and do a diss song of an artist, create good music and sell your name. Create good music and sell your brand. They'll you nowhere. They'll for this artist you were dissing. Give yourself 5 years later. Check your artist board and this. What's your relationship? Don't be a short-term thinker. Let's say, yo, make us a brand about this artist. Man, he different. Like, understand? I will give you a task. Best being again, I said they can get them international tour. Performer for crowd. What's perform? Yang performer audience bukan yo kinga amun ko. Yo, sa song, sa own song, kind of play for us. Yang to the Kenneth. You have a concert for yourself to perform. You go and make fun, entertain. You don't even have songs to perform, but your biggest song is a diss song. You're not gonna be proud of yourself. That means you're the only who must your king this is present. That means you cannot live without that person.
Reliability.
Can you promote Coco? This was the reason why I had a run in the dancehall. I was not the most talented dancehall artist. That one I can't wait. That one they think I'm bro. They don't understand what I'm doing. I'm not for land. They were like, man, working with me would even give you easier run than this in me. Trust me. They like, I swear. But I'm a kind of musicians. Kind of genre they are the industry. They have battle industry within the industry. Those artists are there. They are battle artists. Almost job. Gambia among that space. Killer is the Cypher and his crew. Cypher is very empowered. Hamga very well. Munyeka like Hamga a lot of partners, a lot of investment, a lot of good money. Let's say at the end of month, an artist going home with $200,000 because of they can tell a story and they can battle. They just play with words on that night, and that's done. They don't even need to put that on a record because it's a battle industry that it's there. It's part of an industry. So Ghana what I'm understanding viewers. Sorry, I'm not going to read comments. I'm not even checking.
It's all right. You don't have to. You're talking to me.
Yeah. So, well, I'm saying, go and do a little background check. You'll find out Ramne. Go and look up someone called Cassidy. This generation don't know him that much. Man, one of the finest rappers in America, right? You wouldn't see him on the billboards and doing shows, but he's a battle rapper, bro. He's done a lot of songs that, but battle, that's him. It is their small part of an industry. So if you are there and put choose, Gambia fee like someone talented like Lil Oms, them to a point you feel like, oh, Gambians not even support. They're supporting them, but they don't know where to place some people. I look at that guy as one of the finest battle rappers to ever grace this country. Which I'm on an industry, I'm not a battle with him. For no come artist and find a living. I'm not a lot of countries. So mainly they take it from Senegal. Fine. But we have to understand. You cannot battle commercial music unless you both are commercial artists that have your topics that you can go back and forth and do some fun and move. But typical example of Gambia is go back fee. Among any battle will make noise than T-Smalls and Jibu's battles confronted or altercations. But if you ask them, Lala guy make from that. If they're going to be honest with you. things go to a point, it gets almost physical or even beyond that. Them the best nasty. And as an artist, bu fekkee you know yëpp. And I repeat, any battle when you're Gambia, we egg at that magnitude. That was big. But just they die out without even having a concert of those two for them to score $1 million. So I have give up the battlefield. So I'm if it can work for anybody, fine, man. I respect that. But don't actually base it on someone have to respond to me to be validated to be an artist.
Yeah, that's what many do.
I mean, like,
ENC, I'm not solo basically, it's literally telling me again. This is where I say we Gambians, men. I think is the awareness. Many of us, again, does not think long term. We don't have long term goals. We only think short terms. Like lan moy happen tay, but then on the wrong one, lan moy plan B and where do I want to head? Like again, having a sense of direction. What path do you want to take, and which is really important in whatever you do. You need to have a short term and long term goal. And for again, ENC, this one is a rumor. Rumor has it that ENC has literally stopped singing recently because you got affected by the by open mic being stopped, because most of the time the time that we had BNC ANC is because of the open mic. So because open mic in the first stop more than we affect some music baga hamne, we had less of ENC recently. So can you clarify that for us, please?
I married before open mic. Oh my, then my just knew Oma. You know, if I was not gonna go to open mic. They played a vital role in artists like me. A platform where a lot of people knew us on. You can't take that platform, and I wish it can come back. But because of open mic stop, which event was one of the biggest, best of the best. You knew open best of the best. It was only last year my performance. You know, some artists stopped or took a pause from singing. You could tell from what was their last product. What are they doing? Do they even have songs? You can tell. Like, go and check my last songs. They were way better than the songs that made me. Times being a negative one. Those are the times I actually made it to BBCs. Not just little platforms. I'll on BBC, you know. Times being my those are the times when BBC had to fly in all the way from Fofun New Big Feed do documentaries with me. You get what I'm saying? I never had and this are not in Gambians. And right now, I request you might to do international tours more upper than I used to have before. So no, like this, if you know your artist, you know your artist. If I'm new and never run out, like it's a decision they make. Like for example, someone like you cannot tell that he's out of the race. When I know that in a day he can do an album, you gonna give him that. I'm on that time. The talk every end of the day again. Yeah. So you gotta check, like you gotta cross check. I mean, like it's my choice to actually wait for when I feel it's right to put out this new music that I have, as I mentioned earlier. But if any music, if I cannot face my audience, I'm doing the songs for. That's important for me. I'm not a coming artist that need some. We made our name organically before switching for WhatsApps and before before looking good on the ground. Like Alhamdulillah, we grew with people that genuinely love us, and it's up to us to choose what to do to actually get those people back again and the new followers and all of that. So Alhamdulillah, it's my choice to actually. So if I'm not doing something related to the art, someone actually say, I'm still here doing something significant and something important to what I when it comes to being an artist. People support my business, bro. Rent the limousine, man. Yeah.
Mune, businessman la artist la. Fum neka business mo konyor. Dem lenga support business am.
And in a week time, we a container of iPhone, car wheels. Yeah, car wheels.
Ponda bangi bori. Ngeen dem jëndi ponda. Pondo.
Yeah. You all need to change your tires and your wheels, bro. We have some cheap coming in a week time probably. Come and patronize a whole container, bro. Yeah. Then my graphic designer, you know me, I do the best designs. I'm changing the face of sports in this country. We're doing it. Support my business, you know what I mean? So I will market it that way, you know what I mean? But I mean, definitely I know that people miss my new music. And I'll serve you, inshallah. Madam, a little time, but let me just be done with few
may
things
ko
that
time dafa war a liggéey xaalis tam pour dugalaat ko si biir industrie
yeah,
bi du dee demee noonu.
I need to. And the platforms I post them as well. Need to actually rejuvenate those platforms, and it takes investment like that. So I'm at my time. Let me put one or two things together. I'll be back with you guys. You guys know me, bro. Like, one not talk my your Facebook like every day singing new music for you and putting it out and then download for free. And something, you know.
ENC, I'm not solo torop. The next question is gonna be we will wrap up soon. You know, a rumor has in the ENC that refuse to be on one of the most famous rhythms, which is the low battery rhythm. And if yes, you refuse to be the rhythm when it was when they spoken to you about this rhythm, what was the reason why you refused? It's just a rumor, so it's not something that happened. Low battery.
I know that there are a lot of rhythms that sometimes we reach to you. I'm low on time to voice them at the time. I know low battery rhythm. I'm trying to remember. Can more produce. It might be true that I was invited and I didn't finally get on it. It's very possible because that was not the only rhythm that I couldn't get on. A lot of rhythms. My closest producer at the time, like stylist, I'm not even to I'm not on it, and he's my personal producer, like I can say. Understand? So it might. I don't. I just need to remember like what. These things are more than 5 years now, 6, 7 years. So you can't remember every little detail. I don't hold negativity here to try to remember something negative.
Yeah.
Like, so I might forget. It's not.
That's all right. You're only human.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
ENC Lolo Amnosala. ENC, my last question is gonna be, but later I will ask you something about your career. My last question about rumor is people have said a lot of rumor that Wasahalat is not a fair award winning what is it called again, award winning ceremony organization, I don't know how to call it, or event which happens every year, and this event is host you are part of the organization, and it is the main host of this event basically is an ex-wife. So people have said a lot that what Sahalat is not fair, the way you lot do the voting and all of that is been selective, or you lot already selected who would win, the bias. So what do you have to say regarding this?
I'm not part of Wasahala anymore.
Okay.
Right. And then when I was part of it, I was more on the logistics side.
Okay.
More organizing side and the graphic branding side and all of that. But one thing about the awards is and what many people would say many things that is probably based on insinuations. Yeah. I would have a team. Man, time I was there, great team of people that would go like sleepless nights to go through find information. Everybody justice is served. And very good platform that I don't like the way it's going down the drain. Like Gambians would kill some good things and just like how it went off. Trust me, if the award, if Wasaharat award goes off, and then you know, I mean, like look, I can be here because of my ex-wife and try to bash the award or shit. Like that's not understand what I stand. They want is what I stand for. We need platforms. What I people have reservations and things they are pleased about. Formalize things. Can we find a way where Gambia can say a petition of we want to have audience, we want to have audience opinion. Like let's say, I'm giving you an example. Like some big football teams in the world, the fans have seats because they have a registered official fans club, and we have a space where we can have the audience can actually say something, they can be a part of some opinion making, because that process will let you understand learn more they happen behind.
But you're forgetting something. In the Gambia, no one is entitled to their own opinion. Then there's a problem.
Yeah. But I guess Luma is online is because of many people don't understand and the gap of communication. So that would make it more complicated. But Munuma them deeper because I'm not there. I haven't been there for the past 2 years. I don't know what's on the ground now. I have no clue. No clue yet.
ENC, I think that like one of your fans said, I feel like I'm having a mature and a deep conversation with you because so what here the muna relates. Come linga do one like Gambians most of the time they don't get an understanding of something. That brings me back to the show because when people give backlashes about this show, I'm like, you don't even understand what the show is about. So I get it, so I give it a deaf ear or a blind eye because I'm thinking that it never said a cold sit or a calm sit. It said a hot sit. Like, bro, it's like sometimes I think people just come at something when it's just common sense. It's just said a hot sit and coming is the sense of understanding or finding out to know what is this about. You just want to go and say, okay, you know what, Gambian, most of us, we have a problem with something when they see it, they got them. Yes.
Yeah, that's
They would break it to a point where many of us were distractions. But whatever you're doing, Gambia because it may distract, like then you then that's shift to a place where Google of them. That's why when I even get backlashes about the show, I give it a deaf ear, I give it a blind eye. I'm not gonna respond to irrelevancy because the show is based on something and that you don't understand. Well, a minuloko hamuloko society we own is new to Gambians. You will have an issue with it until that settle down to know. Oh, okay, but we don't do background checks.
Yeah.
We don't. So which again, whenever you say something, it's like, oh my God, lii lu jara faram fancha la pour Gambian because dafa mel ni comme tey yow da nga ñëw fii pour faram fancha pour people to get to know. Sometimes when they say the hot seat the show be, I'm like, bro, it's common sense. It never said cold water. It says hot water. It needs to be poured hot on them, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't understand why come noonu la rek ñun mboolem lu baax loo xam ne dafa ñëw si society dafa add dafa indi value. We have a Gambia dafa am problème si luy dem or lu yokka wala li fit foog mu dama ko. ANC loolu bring us back to the end of the show. So balaa ñuy dem ANC, I wanted to know, this is a question from me, not even written here. dama bëggoon nga jox ñu just a quick summary of the worst times you had as an artist and the happiest moment you had. Just a quick summary of your worst day as an artist and your happiest as an artist.
Oh boy. How do I answer this
It's
one?
called a hot seat. Go through your travel. This is a question from me. Take me through that journey.
Sometimes the dependency is exposure level. Man, sometimes the little simple things are the things that amaze me. The big things are, you know what I mean, are the normal things to me. I think my most difficult times was when I was doing my last Europe tour. I mean, I don't know how people will understand this, but people that are used to shows there and imagine you perform on an event and your next flight is about 5 a.m. or 6 a.m.
Okay.
You perform at even when you want to get close to that time, but your flight
you have to rush to the airport.
For a while, just rush back to the hotel to fake like you cool. They fake a cool low because you have done not catch up this flight. The flight will move them for next show. If you late, you might miss that show. Don't know how to handle that. I was on road with Master Lion because dama ko reexoon man ko ne boy yi naka ngeen xamee yi rock bi boy man mënuma understand yi naka ngeen xamee lii man I cannot do it. If you are an artist and you privileged to do tours outside, even if you cannot fly with your road manager, please have a road manager you're gonna be traveling with Europe. It's because someone have to actually keep, let's say, cooler book for a show. Because we book 3 months before. 3 months before flight ticket bi dafa gën a cheap. Understand kooku book na ticket waaye xëy na in his xalaatut ne kii fa war a am next show the next day boobu show am la xam so doo ko dee blame. So if you don't have an experienced road manager that time pour mu xam arrangements moo tax nga di gis artist show mu ngi am crowd ba ngi fees ak artist bi ñëw that things today. So it was so tough for me. That was that I don't bro dama di nekk supply master mu ngi wax ma ne pat du ma dee wax mu ne général yow doo wax ba ñu waxtaan man maa
problème bi duñ benn
man lu ma xalaat dafa uti ma ngi xalaat pour ñibbi Gambia ma ngi xalaat pour that was too much because I was doing about 15 cities. That was too much. I was like, this is a nightmare. Then like boy, winter season, yeah, because that was tough. But at the same time, within that same hard time, the excitement, like them I play. You see, tuba, you know, I was on train for 4 hours. Yo, Europe. Yo, ham got what I jail 4 hours. Muduga train, kumunyo siyo. And that time, you don't do Gambia, say munga pagal nga dem show anything. Why? What are programs are show? What are you got 4 hours? Munyo, your city being a play. Move a ticket and it's like jail picture. That appreciation, that's something that I cannot know. I cannot actually how I was feeling when I get to bump into those kind of people. Then I perform fee. You have to them play Italy this part. They go on like you fly ahead of you. You have a CCTV. That I'm not kind of they're literally traveling with you. You get to see and you know what I'm saying. And I remember in 2012 when I was performing them on Venezuela as well. It was an autograph, you know. I was like, woo, autograph, like you know, I can watch it from these tall balls, you know, and they're guarded by some MPs, like some red beret tough soldiers. Again, and you have to audience, they know and this they don't know you, but they ask me to give Africa when you be to entertain and they're looking at you as a potential big you benefit this munna blue worldwide. I'm not autograph. That's how much they so yeah, those memories sometimes like you know what I mean, and the place like the buses, the songs, like I love them, like meeting people, you know, getting to chat with them, getting to see how much they love your music, reminding you of things you're fattest. Those are nice though. But tour is hectic. Yeah, Sakasowari have many shows. Those nightmare those scares me. And if you're doing 15 cities means like you're flying about 30 something times. So let's say even in 1 month, go and fly like 30 different planes. Like, hey, no, I can't. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much time, and it's not fun. You know, but people make it fun because of when you go through your struggles. That's love, you know. Yeah,
ENC loolu am na solo torop ENC mboolem artiste bu ñëw si show bi balaa nga dee dem dañ na dee wax nga woyal ñu because daf dee tense torop so balaa boromam dee dem dang ñu war a woyal. I was gonna ask you if you've got any projects coming on, but you said you want to focus right now on business, so that question is irrelevant. It does not need to be asked. So balaa ngaa dem.
Album bi dafa nekk lu pare.
Okay.
What I gain is my album because what I distribute. I just remember you was like last time I'm boy don't get an album.
Yeah, definitely. We miss ENC, you know.
I can put out my album anytime. But look, let me give you this example. Do you understand? A very big song with Attack. The song is over 2 years now.
Is it? Why is he waiting for? Lawyer.
Just don't understand.
Okay.
Understand me. Man decide to keep.
I'm not allowed to talk
this song I have with A2, but pay like I feel like one of the best collabos out here.
Okay, he's coming to the hot seat.
Yeah, get him. Like I have a lot of songs you're gonna go like nice, you will love it. Trust me. It's up to you to put them out.
ENC mi ne ngeen xaar tooga na ko bam ñor léegi amu saani jimbo o anything léegi xoolal yekk wàccee anda bi rek ñu lekk ENC ñun sa taalibe ñu ngi xaar soo ne
but I know the people are really bringing me back. I sometimes I go on TikTok and I see people doing some of my old. I'm like,
you're like bro.
I'm like,
Seriously.
I was not in pain, inshallah.
Yes, si loolu am na solo torop kenn si sa fan si mu ne balaa ngaa dem moom dafa request song ba pare mu ne Nyamba Kawas la bëgg nga woy balaa ngaa dem, and to be honest Nyamba Kawas is the song that made Aji love ENC. That song, oh my God, it made so many of us, a lot of us, to fall in love with your music, and man, I'm part of that person. So before them, we requested for Nyamba Kawas. Nga menu Nyamba Kawas new wrap up.
Hey, me, put on the Gucci till me tired. Nike Air Forces, tell me tired. Anything we put on, a real designer, yeah. We are the grinder, tell them me not tired. We get the Converse and Timberland. Designer Adidas, Adi name brand. Badman #1, it's a Gambian fashion. Everybody love the action. We roll with the Nyamba. Hey, and the television we roll to. Take it to Pluto, we take it to. Hey.
Mga remember tayo mo na pa for some because you was Nyamba Kawas naman ahangkay. Kini mo well represent. Full of teklohom.
My then song is paying reference to Nyamba Kawas. People will, I think that's the next week though. It's called, it's like like talking like from these brands and stuff. Yeah, from Christian Dior, come yeah, Nyamba and so
Yes, yep, correct. ENC, thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the show. Come ni mako you're one artist bo hamne man mag yo. Like I said, they call you lot the old artists or artists back in the day, but I think I belong there. To be honest, I've got a nice relationship with all of you, and it's been back then. So like I said, people like you, it didn't have to take me that energy to have to chase you back and forth. It took me only a message on Instagram. You sent me your number, and I was like, okay. And to be honest, we arrange you coming to the show for the longest. This is why I tell artists, some of them would just call me and say, I'm going to use story. I was like, okay. And I'm like, I'm booked until the end of December. They'd be like, no, in the next week. I'm like, bro, it does not work like that. Do you know how many artists are waiting for almost 2 months? You can't just jump them or disrespect them for waiting that long. And ENC, thank you for your patience, for having to wait on the show. As to be honest, like I said, I sacrificed a lot to sit here, and today I just had 3 injections today. But at the end of the day, I said, you know what, this is passion for me. And having to wake up the floor loft, I mean, the data, sawar. And I think you took me through that journey, and I feel better having to sit here and do this show. It takes a lot of sacrifice, trust me. I'm wara dem liggéey wàcce liggéey ñëw toog wala ñàkk feebar ñëw toog di ko def just the love of it moo la dee may that katan pour nga mun koo def ma wax la jërëjëf nga tàggatoo yow it nga wax sa gaay jërëjëf ma bàyyi la nañ wax later. Thank you very much, and thank you for everyone who's watching, shared, and who's gonna come and watch next later on.
It's been amazing, man. I mean, sometimes it's beyond just let's sing. It's about let's communicate, let's chat, let's have. I mean, end of the day, whatever we do here, we do it for the people. But I'm a person that don't expect people to understand everything from your first of saying. So it might take some people 10 years later to understand what you said before. So I'm this man and some never had the chance to listen to me for a 1 hour length of conversation. This is the first time I mean, you're doing a great job. I mean, like, thanks the fact that Murunga Lennon right now, but Talunga back home. There's no other feeling better than that. I mean, being still connecting with the core people, especially people you started together with, and then connecting that to recent times. Not anybody. You have to have something special in you to be able to do that. So you're an amazing lady. Keep doing what you're doing.
You know that since back. Do ba change? Every day the want it. Don't change it. Why am I talk? Change. There's nothing that change.
I mean, but it's love. I mean, you have a powerful platform. I mean, let's say for example, things like the smalls and estate thing. You have a powerful medium where someone like you can actually be with them off the record, trying to see how peace can come back. I mean, it's very nice as well. And then you doing this book ahead. I mean, this is something that people I see people screen recording your shows and putting them on TikTok. That means people are
Everywhere.
following.
That's what I said. Every time I wake up, my face is everywhere on the media. I said to myself, I'm tired of seeing this face. I don't look on the mirrors anymore. The one they said to, because I see myself everywhere.
You're doing a great job, but people are having
Thank you.
information. So we just grow that to our next level, and then people are demanding. That means you're doing good, you're serving well. So it's up to us to support your platform and then add more. And then it's okay for me to join, but it's okay joining and for a reason to come back. You know, I mean, whatever you do, you have a lot of people that depend on you for their future because they're so you need to take that sense of responsibility and seeing and we're doing for our country. Yeah, so I mean, boys, it's a pleasure being here. I'm not gonna apologize that I have anything wrong because I don't think I've done anything wrong. But I'm gonna thank you guys for being with us throughout. You know, what I'm saying, just keep following, man. Just keep following here, and thanks for. You know, it's been a long interview, but I mean, it wasn't boring.
I could, the other side, like, I feel the chit chat, but once more, but they get along, and I'm like, this artist shouldn't go because they're saying so much sense. I want to listen and I want to listen. Come guys, no ko de wa here ENC mangi tag page am bi te gis ngeen ne mom la join fi dama len de wa the little you can do is go and follow your artists and know their updates and to drop a song ngeen ham project some yum nek a business am bu mo def because li yeb hamuñ ko won. While now if you go and follow and then know what they're up to, because sometimes they bring a little bit of what they do in Instagram, they will follow ko TikTok. He's still got his YouTube channel. Lila, they're not asking for anything. They're not asking for much. Follow, and the page is right there. Manko hi, not going to tag, and this is why I tag the artists when they come. Purgen click on the blue highlight and follow them. And have a good night, guys. I will love you guys and leave you, Mobile and Bethany. And thank you to everyone that supports this platform. And again, num to the Saturday be and again I event put them len get them support and artists. I love you guys and kiss. Mwah.